Gold jacket, green jacket, who gives you?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Gold Jacket, Green Jacket podcast. We're here for episode number 66. My name is Christian Dragonetti, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we've got 3 microphones out, joined as always by Joel Mitchell, Australian PGA professional, and, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in a long time, Daniel Rim is back in the studio. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, dude. I'm good. Yeah,
woo.
thanks.
Hang on. Where is it?
No, look, yeah, pumped to be back. I've been following along. I was saying to the boys, before, been listening as much as I can. It's been awesome to see the journey you guys have been on, and the growth and stuff like that too. Like it's
thank
it's
you,
really really cool. So really cool. So how many? When you say, so what is it? Just over what, year and a bit?
66 episodes this week. So yeah,
So will that be 15 months?
A year and 14
Let's
weeks.
say 15 months.
15 months
Ish.
There you go.
Ish.
Oh, that's awesome.
February
That's
last
really
year. February 24 was when
That's
we started.
terrifying, dude.
It's horrible.
It's so crazy
I feel
how
like
it's- yeah,
terrifying.
I was saying this to Remy. It feels like it's been forever since we had him on last.
Yeah.
But it also feels like it's been 3 weeks.
Yeah, I know.
If you had to ask me, it goes, when did Remy come on? Late November. That would have been my guess. And you're like, nah, it was like July. I'm like, huh?
It was
Yeah.
it was on
Start
it
of
was
August or
August
something.
because
Yeah,
literally
you just got
as-
engaged.
Yeah, correct. So it is long overdue, Rim, to get you back on. We're very excited to have you in because there's been a lot of changes.
Yeah.
Both-
There's a lot of things happening.
I think you and I have both been on a similar sort of trajectory with our handicaps in the last sort of 3 to 4 months or so.
Yeah, definitely.
And Joel's been sort of busting to get you back in for that reason. We want to have a chat about that. But
Joel's handicap's going the other way.
yeah,
I have
yeah.
gone
I show everybody. I used to show everybody when he was +5, and now he's +4.
I don't.
I'm
even bother anymore.
+5.
I do-
Technically.
Again.
It's +4.5.
Yeah, that's
I checked
what I
the
mean.
other day.
Come on.
I,
Like +5.3 or something. I'm just like, what is this guy doing?
I got this close to removing him off my GA account.
Sick of looking at him.
I was like, I don't have shit golfers on my GA.
No. What is this round, man? 2 under? Seriously.
Yeah. Let's get into recent rounds now. Daniel, let's get you out of the way nice and quickly because you just told me you can't remember your most recent
No,
round.
I can't remember my most recent
because
rounds.
you've been under the knife in the last
Yeah.
sort of couple of weeks.
Actually, I
Yeah.
reckon the most recent round would have been with me. It would have been about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah,
I
three
remember
Saturdays
that.
ago.
I remember
Yeah.
that. You were telling me.
Yeah. That would, but still a while ago.
Oh, it's
Yes,
all, I mean, it's a
absolutely.
while ago for
Relative-
me. I play,
relative to
play
your-
3 times a week. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
do you know what I mean? So no, I just, look, it's ankle surgery I've been putting off for I had the consultation and everything like that 2 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah,
But it's really
right.
hard when someone obviously own a business. We're in a growth phase with business and stuff as well. So I'm obviously very active in that sense. And then obviously I love golf and, being active and all that kind of thing. So had numerous injuries as a kid and know what it's like.
Yeah.
So when someone tells you, okay, when do you want to take some time off? It's like, never.
no, I don't.
So yeah, look, it was one of those things where I got to the point where basically I had a pretty decent leg break when I was racing bikes as a kid. I was 15, and when it healed, it healed, and it's been really good for considering the break and stuff. It healed fine, but then basically calcifies along the joints and stuff like that, and there was some rough points in the ankle that just gradually got worse, and to the point, and the frustrating part was it was affecting my golf. So, I'd get through sort of 15 holes, and especially I've been hitting it wayward left and right. It's like
You had to bite the bullet.
Yeah, well, then I'm on hanging lies and stuff like that, and then I basically I just had pretty severe arthritis in my ankle, so they just go in and clean it out and stuff. I am, what am I, 1 week?
1 week post surgery.
1 week post, yeah.
And you just showed me a video. I hope your surgeon's not listening. You just showed me a video of you hitting balls in the simulator at work.
Yes.
With a
In a
moon
moon
boot.
boot.
with a moon boot. So
moon boot.
I've currently had.
If there's one thing-
I've had 4 sessions in the sim so far since surgery. First one was 4 days out from.
So if there's one thing, ladies and gentlemen, you need to know about Daniel is that the grind never stops. I'm pretty sure I can probably say confidently that you'd be waking up from your surgery, coming out of the anesthesia, fixing your grip, or
Pretty
trying
much.
to do something
Pretty
in the
much.
hospital bed, just being like,
Yeah, he
all
was
right,
actually
that feels
he was
good.
actually in the surgery room with FootJoys on. I saw it. he
had to take the
he had premieres on.
That
was his moon
I actually
boot.
just bought a new pair too.
That was his moon boot.
Oh, I love it. All right, so the recent round was probably a few weeks ago.
surgery.
Then.
Yeah, so
surgery.
I can't tell you what I had. I think it was early 30s, nothing special.
Nothing special. Cool.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go first, Jolly?
Sure.
Sure.
We'll go down the line.
I had 29 points on Saturday, playing off a handicap of 5. Hit it pretty average. They at Heidelberg had just cored the greens for winter.
Did you guys just core?
Yeah, on Thursday
It's
last
very
week.
different.
Interesting.
It's very different.
We
time.
don't do
We're 500 meters away from you guys. Well, how can we?
That's different grass,
I
dude.
know it is. I know,
correct.
but like,
We don't do, and we haven't done for the last 3 or 4 years a full
a big core.
big core.
Wow.
Winter core, like a traditional winter winter core.
Yeah, for sure.
We do mini cores, so like smaller tines, and we also slash it as we go.
Yeah.
So it's slashed and cored.
Yep.
And 2 days after they'd done it, they were horrendous.
Oh yeah.
And just I reckon on 4 separate occasions I had less than 6 feet for par and 3 jab for double. Just because
It's easy to do.
It's so easy to do. And I kept this is the one thing I'm really disappointed in myself with, and we'll get to this a bit later on with when we're talking about how things have been going. I was really upset with myself about how I reacted to the poor
Yep.
performances.
Yep.
My mental game for Saturday was probably the worst it's been for some time. And it was simply because I just couldn't wrap my head around the fact that I should have just expected it to be shit.
Well,
Do you
not
know
even
what I
that. The score doesn't relate to the results. Shouldn't relate to.
And I couldn't
your
separate
form.
them. I couldn't separate them.
Yeah.
I couldn't separate them.
easy
I'm
to
just
do.
like, I'm hitting it unreal and I'm playing great and I should walk
Yeah.
out here and have 36 points and go home. But you stand over a 6-foot putt for par and go, this drops every day.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. And then you have 2 more.
Probably the best thing to do would be not to enter the comp. Just go play.
Yeah, that would have been, in hindsight, a smart
But
thing to
come
do, but also on a
on,
Saturday.
really?
But then
on
you
a
never know.
Saturday.
You never. You have a social round. You actually like are lucky, and you get lucky, and you hole a few putts, and all of a sudden you have 37. You're like, oh fuck, I should have entered. But
Correct. And
you know what I mean? It's
being,
like it's
being
the
a Saturday
prevention of-
morning, that's not an option.
Yeah,
You got to be in
okay,
it to win
yeah,
it, though.
Fair
Let's-
enough.
Come on, let's go.
So-
But hey, actually, just on that, and let's not go too far down this path. But query, like, this is something that I've been like, I listen to a bunch of US content and stuff like that as well, and they have the Gin app. They don't have to enter a comp or anything like that in the US.
Right.
No, you can just enter scores.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
so
they
you
have
go
a
out
different
and shoot.
handicap system.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so they're-
And it's a
handicap
separate entity that contains your handicap
Yeah,
data.
it's called the Gin app, GHIN. Yeah, which is like, and that so don't that it's not like us where you have to
Entering
like,
through
it's almost
my
like a bit of a-
score.
yeah, exactly.
then it goes to GA.
because it's like we go play like we went and played with my brother-in-law and I. We went shout out Fabian. He was stoked with that. We went and played with Nick McKenzie and Squid. We went and played the Dunes.
Nice.
And we were like getting down there, we were like stressing whether they were going to have a comp on or not because we were like, oh man, we really want to we really want to
Have a crack.
actually have a crack at it, and and it just puts a little bit more.
There's a
on
lot
it,
of clubs that do social handicapping.
Yeah.
where you just go in there and they just chuck you in.
Yeah.
and you just score, but there's no comp results. It just goes towards your handicap.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
okay.
places that do that, but what clubs are sort of leaning towards now, which Rosanna's really pushing to, is to include like a sort of like a comp levy sort of thing.
Yeah.
So you put it into the subs, and so you can play comp every day of the week if you wanted to, and it
Yeah.
costs you. It doesn't cost you anymore.
Yeah,
It's
right.
just in your subs already.
Yeah.
So the more comps you play, great, right? But because it's moving more towards people wanting to do for themselves rather than playing for $40.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
starting
totally.
to go towards that. So I've seen a lot of clubs do that where there is no results.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
no comp results. It's just you go in there, you say, yep, I'm in the comp, they tick you off. You don't pay anything. And you just go out and play and you just go and score. And it does come up with a leaderboard.
Yeah.
Just so
But
there's a
there's
little
no
bit of
prize
competition.
money.
No prize money. It just goes towards your handicap.
But
That's perfect. In a perfect world, that would be the way to go
Well-
about it. The way we do it at Heidelberg is it's quite simple. It's a $5 comp entry fee during the week, excluding the main day, so Wednesday, and then $8 on the main days.
yeah.
So Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Prize money goes back if you have a good day and all that kind of stuff, and you pro pins and all that kind of stuff on top of it. So, I rock up every week to Heidelberg and I'm paying $10 before I even walk out onto the range. So in comp fees and pro pins and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of it does go back to the members. A lot of it goes to the club, which is great, and we've been using the money for the club.
There'd be a percentage of it. There's a small percentage.
Small percentage that goes to the club, which is great. But yeah, something we've discussed it in the past. Something revolutionary needs to happen in this country with golf and the social aspect of golf, because as social players, you kind of just get neglected. Just go out and have fun, do whatever you want, go for it. Right?
Which
It's-
is weird because it's actually more than you think.
Yeah.
There's more of there's a higher percentage of people that just want, like, even on a Saturday
Just
morning
wanna
that
go and knock
book
around.
at 8:30 that do not want to play in the comp or care. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
a little bit handicapping just to keep a little bit competition aspect out of it, but them winning $40 in B grade couldn't be less of a priority. to
Yeah,
me.
absolutely.
It'll be a higher percentage than you think. But I've sort of thought maybe do your main days where you have comps, where like paid comps, where you do enter to pay the comp. If you don't enter, well, there's no handicapping for that day. You just play because you've already booked your time, so they'll play anyway. But then, yeah, on any other day, say Tuesday morning, you just go out. You're already registered because you booked in, and if you play in the comp, great because you've just registered on your phone.
Yeah.
If you don't, well, nothing happens.
See,
So it's sort of
the
just up to
argument,
you.
and we won't get into this too much more. We'll move on
we'll-
swiftly because the argument I've got to that is that if I found out, if I was on the wait list, 8:30 I want to play at 8:30 in the morning. I set the wait list up to those times because that's when I'm available, and I don't get a spot. But then I find out that Barry has just gone for a whack and hasn't jumped in the comp. When I want to jump in the comp,
See,
then
that's where that comp levy comes in
So that-
because you're
that-
paying
that
the same
comes-
amount.
That comes back to the start though. So the point, I suppose, the reason why I raised it was because we were talking about like not going in the comp and that affecting your score. Well, with the Gin app, you don't have to enter at the start. You can enter this round at the end of it, whether you want to or not. And they, manage
Really?
it
It's just a
that way.
separate-
That's what I mean. So it's not like you nominate and go.
Crazy.
But then-
I don't think. Look, I could be wrong, but
Yeah.
the way there's a lot of talk about online in terms of whether they posted their score or not. It's like, well, hang on a minute.
I
You know what
get
mean?
I get
Where
your
it's
point
like-
now though. I get your point
That's
now.
kind of where it's like you're kind of just going and playing regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get your point now though because there's often times that we see at every club that on a Saturday morning it's fully booked and you see 2 no-shows and then 6 people on the wait list. Like you'd be fuming if you're on the wait list. That's to your point. No,
Yeah.
I completely get that.
and that's why
100%.
I've had to make
100%.
arrangements in the past at the club with that concerns the wait list and all that kind of stuff. And you always try and make sure you do it by the book and that everyone gets a game at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a massive talking point at our club for the last couple of years, especially during COVID.
As everywhere.
The wait list was fucked during COVID.
Yeah, for sure.
As everywhere.
But yeah, rattle off your most recent round, Jolly, and we'll get stuck into it.
Just to rub it in, played PK on Monday, which was
I know.
nice.
And let's move on.
I actually
Because I
don't
bunker shot.
Huh?
I saw a bunker shot.
That was
I actually played that quite well.
I thought
It
that
was
looked
just
pretty
it
good.
was short side and it was
That was
such a hard
left
shot.
on 7.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that downhill par
You
3.
don't
I
wanna-
actually
you
hit
don't, you don't want to be there.
no. I actually hit a great shot, and because that pin was tucked 8 feet off the green, I'm like, just please catch a piece because there's this little ridge, and if it hits that ridge, it goes towards the hole,
Straight to the-
right? And it like pitches and hits the lip, and it goes boing, straight in. I'm like, that literally, if it carries a foot, I've made a hole in one.
Yeah.
But no, it's in
A
the
hole in
bunker.
two.
I took 4, and I was like, what do you do?
Yeah,
But
that's all right.
Just don't hit it there, right?
Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
don't hit it.
But I don't play there often at all, and nor does really anyone that's not a member. You're not going there weekly if you're not, right? So I'll probably play there, let's say, 3 times a year if we average that out, sort of thing. Once every sort of 4 months. And because I'm so excited to be there, I find it really hard to really get the round going and play well
dude.
because I'm
Tell me
so
about it.
I'm so sort of overstimulated by everything else. All the
exactly what
perfection
happened
around
when
it.
we were there last.
So I have had my good rounds there. I've had me sub 70s and a couple good ones where I've gone that 4 or 5 sort of thing where I'm like, oh, beautiful. I've caught a good day where I've
Yeah.
actually played well. But yeah, Monday I think I had 2 over par or something like that. We
Yeah,
played
right.
the North course and
and it was probably the happiest 2 over you ever had.
mate, I'm in heaven.
Yeah, it's
like
the best, isn't
loved
it?
it because the course was like, it's really.
It's not that hard of a course
It's
either,
not-
and
it's
that's the
not- no, it's not.
crazy thing.
But it's so
though.
easy at the same time.
It so is, I know.
But
and it's like, it just...
I've never gone to a facility where it gets better every time.
Yeah, for sure.
It's so hard to go
And you
somewhere
keep
where
unlocking things.
and
like,
there's things that you're like, I didn't see that last time, and that's unreal. Like there wasn't a blade of grass out of place, dude. The greens were quick. They were still receptive, so I had fun with the short game. They rolled perfect. It was 20 degrees and sunny and dead still. Like it was just. I'm like, how good is this?
Yeah.
Like, how
It's
fucking
getting-
good is this?
It's getting to the point now where, because I messaged Raptor a few weeks ago, and I was just like,
Raptor, can I please play VK?
yeah, legit. I'm not gonna deny it. I messaged him. I'm like, hey, I've got this day off, Monday RDO, but I know you get out there Mondays. Like, can I come along? Kind of thing. And he was like, oh, look, I got something on for work, no dramas. And then today I saw him, and he was just like, what are you doing Monday? And I'm like, don't start.
And it was just-
I was like, I'm not available.
Yeah,
Don't
exactly.
start.
It's the place where it's just you can't. It's so hard to say no to.
Yeah.
Right. And we're actually standing on the 18th green, and we played with one of Raptor's cousins.
Yep.
And his name is Ollie, and great lad, great little tempo swing. Doesn't smoke it out there, but just grouse little swing. Doesn't play all that often, but he was awesome to play with. Good fun, and he asked me, "Oh, how have you played today? Like, are you having a good score?" And Raptor actually said, "I've never seen Joel play so bad, like so poor." And Raptor goes, "What are you?" I'm like, "I don't know. I've no idea.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I could be 12 over right now. I have no idea." And we walked up. We actually checked the scores. I'm like, "I had a couple over."
Sounds
And
like
Raptor's like, "Is
sounds
that
like a
it?"
dream.
But like, it just looked a lot worse because
What
I
it was,
wasn't,
yeah.
you know, I hit off the tee was all right, but I wasn't holding parts like much because I didn't line up half of them.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'll just pick the ball up from off the green and just go further away just to like hit over slopes and shit.
Yeah.
So other than that, that was my most recent round.
Yeah, right.
And had an absolute ball. Just
yeah, perfect.
mate, it was just perfection.
Something
So
I was
entertaining.
thinking about today as well. So I've played the North Course quite a few, well, probably 5 times already. I've never actually played the South Course there, so I
Really?
can't speak on the South Course, Raptor. But with obviously the recent announcement of Australian Open going to
Yes.
Royal Melbourne, Rory McIlroy coming down. Do you think they'll ever do an event there on a concert course?
I don't think it will work.
But that's exactly what I was thinking.
Only because
think
you
about
couldn't
that,
do it on
like,
a North.
Like that, no, like that, you know what I mean? That stretch, like 2, 3, 4, like some of the best holes on the course, you can't get a single spectator there.
No. And that's exactly the first thing that came to mind.
But the other thing is, they would have to build a lot of new tee boxes because
Infrastructure and
they
stuff.
would
Yeah.
destroy that joint. The winner
Even
would
the
have.
blacks. Have you played?
I've played the
tips
tippy tops, and it's tough because you got to hit it very straight.
Yeah.
But if they had a calm week and they have that course as
Yeah,
good as
they
they do,
would've
the
ate it
winner
up,
would have
wouldn't they?
50 under.
Yeah.
Like, and no, it's not an easy course by any means.
no,
It's
no,
not
for
an easy
sure.
golf course. But
But it's not. It doesn't have that length.
it also, yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't quite have the length. And if they
To
did
those
build-
guys, it's gettable.
To those
For
guys,
sure,
it's so
for sure.
gettable, and it can be. They will trick up the greens, of course.
Micheluzzi
They'll
goes
ma-
out there and just shoots.
Mate, he
like,
plays
squirrels.
off plus 8.
Did it again.
I know.
He plays off plus 8.
know.
and
He did it
shoots-
again the
He
other
was there
week.
the day we were there last time.
He was playing off plus 7 and had 40 points.
Yeah. It's like, what do you mean,
fuck?
dude?
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, so I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying it's easy or they'll destroy the joint, but
I think infrastructure-wise, man, they would just
they just wouldn't be able to get it. On the South Course, maybe there's a bit more room.
I figured that was probably
on the
case,
South
'cause
Course, a
that's
bit more, maybe.
yeah,
And
yeah.
as amazing as it would be to have an event like that there, I don't think they can't.
It's not justifiable.
They just can't.
Nah.
They won't be able to get the people there.
Yeah.
It'll be too cramped. Like even
It's hard,
like
isn't it?
on
Yeah.
maybe 3. Where do people stand?
No, that's what I mean. 2, 3, 4 is like some of the best holes on the North
true.
Course. You can't get a single person.
Where would they
They'd be
stand?
standing on the fairway.
But even the second you get off a tee box, it's just shrubbery. You can't
Yeah.
you can't
That's
put
what I
pegs
mean.
up. You
There's
can't put
no-
boards up.
no,
It's
there's
just
no-
and that's not at all a dig. It's not possible to do it
just,
there.
I just
No,
think it's
you just
just the
can't
way
do
it's,
it.
yeah.
And that's
some
unfortunate.
Some of the best golf courses
Oh,
in the world.
absolutely.
Unreal. Unreal.
Absolutely.
Like you see all those taco guys and stuff like that, and they play all the courses around
Yeah.
the world, and they're like,
Yeah.
"This is my favorite course ever."
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
even
and it
even
happens every week,
Even
yeah.
Quan when he's down here,
Yeah.
he just froths the joint.
Dude,
Yeah,
even
100%.
Luke Toomey reckons PK is his favorite place
Yes,
ever.
that's Toombs I was referencing.
Toombs is
He's
his,
like-
he goes
he's like, "It's
I've
the
played
best.
the
It's
best of everywhere.
Yeah.
He goes, this is the best ever.
So
Yeah.
cool.
And they've played they've played Booglesmans, they've played like all the New Zealand courses, and they reckon they go, nah. PK and the sandbelts just top everything.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
Yeah, it's mint.
So moving swiftly on, Daniel, thank you again for coming in.
Nothing swift about us three together, is there?
No, God, no. We could sit here talking about PK for the next 4
love it.
hours.
I love it.
And Raptor's not even here. Fucker.
Yeah, good. Anyway, good that he's not here. Buggery.
Someone's a bit butthurt.
Not really. It's good to get you back in. It's been a little while. We discussed that earlier. You have had a pretty intense transformation in your golf in the last sort of 3 to 4 months, right? Because I've been watching a little bit and keeping up with the scores and whatnot and seeing that number
There's
drop.
a period of time when you or I were chatting every second day.
Yeah, correct. and that sort of fell by the wayside.
Are you practicing?
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
Practice.
Oh, did you eat your lunch today? Did you brush your teeth?
Yes.
And that sort of fell away a little bit, and that's fine. Life gets in the way and things get busy, and that's fine.
100%.
But I want to have a massive catch up and see how things are going with you with your golf, because like Joel, like we said earlier, you and I have sort of been on a similar sort of path, and these guys have heard plenty about how I've been going, and that's fine. But I want to know about it, because last time you were in here, you were playing off about 8 or 9.
Yep.
That's now down to GA.
I don't know what it is exactly, 6 something. I think it's
6
between 5 and 6.
Okay, cool. Me
too,
Yeah.
6.
Yeah.
Joel's checking it.
Okay.
What do you remember roughly the date you came in here? Was it? Let's say mid-August. Let's go mid-August.
I can find it out.
Let's just go
Well,
mid-August.
no, it was August. Yeah,
let's just go
definitely
August. Let's just
so-
go August. Don't do anything.
No, that's fine.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, what do you want to know?
I
Where
want to
do you
know.
start?
I want to know what changed.
What
Because
changed for me?
the last time I remember being in here last time and chatting about that
No
you were in a bit of a
fucking way. Sorry. So
give us the numbers.
pretty much last time you were on the pod, you were soft capped.
Yeah.
That's right.
At 10.
Whoa.
At 10, and you are currently 6.5. So
There
it's
you go.
almost a 4-shot
I'm
turnaround.
going backwards too. That sucks. We could have had the pod like a month ago.
So yeah, you were
always
soft capped
happens.
as well.
I know.
Far out. That's a lot of goal. That's a lot of shots.
That's a lot of shots.
But that's right.
I want to know what changed because like you were in a definite slump. Soft capped as we mentioned.
Yep.
And then something flicks, something switches. I know you like to tinker a lot with your equipment, right? Just say the absolute least.
Don't know what gives that
Not
away.
tinker. You like to hammer it out and change a lot of things and turn something into something else.
Yeah, definitely.
Talk to me. Give me the lowdown in as much detail as you want.
Okay. Or as much detail as I want.
No, actually, let's strip it back.
Joel said
Drags,
he's
this
gonna,
is why we can't have nice things.
Joel said he's going to fly out. He's gonna fly out.
Let me rephrase. In
still be talking.
reasonable detail.
yeah.
Okay, so look, my game as a whole, relatively able-bodied, can swing fast. Can
You're
hit
quicker
the-
than I am.
Can hit the ball.
You're
far,
definitely quicker than I am.
But
Quicker. He's on course. He's like 119.
Yeah, that's
120.
That's
Yeah.
10 quicker. That's 10 quicker. It's still quicker. It's quicker than you.
Of course it is.
with great power comes great responsibility. Though.
Yeah.
I've got a tendency to hit it sideways and stuff like that. So just working on those things, and I think understanding. I listened to the Luke pod a few times over actually because listening to him talk and the way he talks about golf and stuff like that, and I think the way he approaches it and stuff, he wasn't the most gifted bloke in terms of his it wasn't super strong and all this kind of thing, but he was someone who just worked the game out and made it work for him and was like really, really
Golf
good at it.
IQ is very good.
Yeah, just
Very
a
smart.
complete wealth of knowledge and stuff. So
Yeah.
that was I'm 2020 I started playing golf, so it's like for me I still got a lot of
There's a lot to learn.
yeah, sit down, young grasshopper. You got a lot to learn, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of and it's honestly probably the biggest change has been has just been learning I don't you don't have to hit it the furthest. You don't have to try and it's really tricky playing with Joel because he just fires at every pin. I'm probably hitting it further than even down the fairway if I'm in the fairway, but
No, you are.
it's
You
like,
do. You hit it. You hit it
that's what I
15.
mean.
You hit it 10 past me.
But it's like how we drop that number?
15,
I
10,
like 15.
5, 3,
no,
1.
but see, I'm hitting my
We're the
number
same.
more consistently.
No, 100% he is definitely. But that's the thing
but-
is it's tricky playing with Joel because he just fires at every pin. Whereas I just would look at that and be like, oh, I'm gonna go at that pin where it's tucked back right on 12, and I'm like buried in the face of the bunker. I'm like an 8. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So just learning those things
Because that was the one thing. That was the
trying
one
to
thing
get
I
ego in check
noticed
too.
Yeah, correct. And that was the one thing I noticed about your scores when having a look. And I wasn't checking every week. It was more just every little while, just
Every second.
have a glance. What's he doing? Because he'd mentioned that he wanted to get you back on and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. And I was like, all right, let's keep up with what Rimmy's doing. And I would see one over on the front nine. I'm like, oh, good start. And then again, you get to 12 and there's a 7. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
And then it'd be followed by another double somewhere else.
Yeah.
And we're all prone to them. We're not expected to go through bogey free and double for free, let alone bogey free, right? So, yeah, I can understand where you're coming from in that sense of, just trying to tune it back a little bit, dial it back and just go, right,
Yeah.
pick your moments. And that's another massive takeaway that I've had in my own journey. We'll get to that later.
Totally.
But I really resonate with that a lot. So
100%.
Nah.
The biggest thing I saw with both of you was the fact that it stopped going like this.
Yeah.
Where you'd shoot at 74, you're like, I'm back.
Yeah.
And then the week after, or we'll do a pod episode, you're like 74, I've figured it out. I'm back. I'm
Yeah.
on. Right, they gave me my tour card, right? But then the
87.
next
Please.
week,
Next
the
week.
next week, you're like, I just had 26 points. I shot 89.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
or something.
Yeah, correct.
Right, and then you're like, I don't know where the club head
No
is,
idea.
right? And now it's like each week after week for the both of you, the dispersion went like that.
Yeah.
Like you'd still have that odd good one and your odd shitty one,
Yeah.
but the outliers weren't out here. They were
Yeah.
now
Nah,
just
completely.
outside the range. So
Yeah.
you're now going from shooting your odd 70, like your 74 and then your 80s.
Yeah.
Or 80, 79 to 81 sort of thing. And then you'd throw a 90 in there.
Yeah.
That 90 is now gone.
Yeah.
Right now, that bad one's 84, where you have a couple holes that get away from you, but you keep it together.
Yeah.
But you now just, you consistent rounds are anywhere from 76 to 80.
Yeah,
It's there.
100%.
That's the 4 scores you shoot.
And I think-
then
I
if you
think
get
that
if you get hot, you have that one lower one.
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
it.
Absolutely.
And then you have your one outlier that's like 84, and that's it. Instead of just here, it's there.
Yeah.
And I think
that's-
that scale continues as well. It's funny. Like I play a lot of golf with Bremner, you know, Stevie, Bagel, you know,
Yeah.
those like
Solid
Lee,
low figures
those guys,
golfers.
like solid low figures. They all play off 1, 0, +1, that kind of thing. And it's like their bad day is like, I'm like, what you have? And he's like, oh, 5 over. I'm like,
Hey. Hey. Yeah.
what? I'm like, oh man, God.
It's
In my head, I'm thinking like, oh yeah, they picked up on like, you know, 7, and I'm like, yeah, they just didn't get a strike there, so that's all right. No, I would have had triple there, but they had double. But no, seriously,
I've been
like,
chasing him around for the better half of 5 years.
Yeah, I know, but
And he- and
he's
same sort of deal.
He's an outlier.
Yeah.
You can't carry him into the conversation with
No.
club golfers and stuff like that.
I
'cause
disagree
these-
with you completely because I've seen him when he
his
was
scores
playing off.
his go the other way. They start to fluctuate more, but now it's down. It's
Yeah,
like
correct.
He's shooting 61. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
correct.
oh.
And but I've seen him when he was playing off 2.
Yeah, okay.
We've always had 10 shots between us, and
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
gotten considerably better than what I was when I first met him.
We
right?
did too.
We've
You
been
just
10
stayed
shots
the same.
apart for the last 5 years, and I was playing off 14 when I met him.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm playing off 4 now. So,
Yeah.
like, it's fucked, right? In the sense
crazy.
that he goes, I watch him, and I've played unreal. He hasn't done it. And I'm just like, how'd you go? And he's like, 1 over.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah, I know.
Where the fuck?
Yeah, I know.
Where'd you pull that from?
That is
one
the
of the-
point.
Or he'll
one of the
come in
most
here.
says it's
He'll
not
come in
about
here and
making
go.
bogeys.
He'll
No,
come
sorry,
in-
no, sorry.
Go on,
apologies.
go.
I was just going to say, you know how everyone says it's not about making birdies? For him, it is. He
Yeah.
has to make birdies
Yeah.
because it's like
Otherwise, it's a 1-pointer.
Terrible.
Otherwise, it's a 1-pointer.
yeah, exactly.
But I come in here week after week, and he just goes, yeah. Occasionally, he'll throw one in and just go, yeah. Chopped it around a little bit. Still had 70.
under.
Still had 73.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, hang on a fucking second. Like, I would snatch your hand off now
For that,
for
yeah.
73,
Yeah.
and to say I chopped it.
Yeah.
And it's that scale that you talk about. Like I
Yeah.
talk about it with my mum, and she's playing off 30. She just cracked 40. Like her handicap's 39.5, and she's super proud of
Far out,
herself.
isn't it? Jesus.
Bandit.
I remember when she started, it was like 53 or something.
Yeah, she just cracked 39.5, and I'm really impressed with her. And she's doing really, really well. And I said to her, I'm like, the only thing you need to do over the next 5 or 6 weeks, and even longer, just have minimum 30 points.
Yeah.
Just
Yep.
if you can consistently shoot, and
get
regardless
that.
of your
Yeah,
handicap,
that
if you
becomes
can
the norm and stuff, and it's
consistently
just-
shoot in the 30s. I remember when I was at my most consistent, I had 28 rounds
Yeah.
in a row with 30 points or more.
You did too. That was sick.
It was ridiculous.
But you only had the only
That's
3 of
really
them
good.
were under 32, I think.
yeah.
Or something like
amazing.
3
that.
rounds under 32 points, and I had 28 rounds in a row above
Sick.
30.
That's so
That's
good.
amazing.
That's so good.
It
I
was-
do
That's
have
how you
that.
go
I still,
from 9
I still
to
have
5.
more fluctuation, but
Yeah.
I do have like
That's how you go from 9 to 5. It's simple
Correct,
as that.
correct.
Yeah, 100%.
But it's like I'm trying to think. What I've noticed the most is for the both of you, and SGM's done this as well. He's a different person. He's a different person.
Yeah,
It is-
right.
it is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, but when we explained that last week or the week before, I'm not sure. But for you two, the most I've seen the momentum, whether it's good or bad, has now
yeah.
fizzled out a little bit.
Yeah,
So
for
if you made that one birdie, you'd go par birdie birdie par, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
You'd have this good stretch, right? But then you catch that back nine, that one bogey turns into 2 doubles in a row, then bogey, another double.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you've gone from turning maybe even to then having 14 over on the back nine or some shit like that.
Yeah,
now
100%.
it's like you throw in that one double where you're like, I put myself in a bad spot. I paid for it. And then it's just the odd, for a 5-hole stretch, you have 2 bogeys, maybe a birdie. And that's it. Or one bogey for 5
Yeah,
holes.
totally.
That's it. You just the consistency is significantly better, and you don't hop onto the bogey and double train anymore for the both of you. I've
Yep.
noticed that a lot. Like sometimes if you have a bad day or something like that, you're like, nah, I stunk it. Right. I see 2 white, a blue, and everything else is orange and red.
Yeah.
Right. And that was the same for yourself. And now it's just like you throw in that one red one on
Yeah.
12.
Yeah.
Or something like that, and the rest is
Such a
just
bad
white and
hole
a
to
couple
do it on
orange
too.
here and
It's
there.
so
Well,
And it's significantly better where neither of you let that bad hole dictate the next 6 or something
Yeah.
like that. It's like you just can flip it around.
It's
So it's
one
credit
thing.
to both of you.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. I appreciate you saying that and noticing as well, because it's one thing that I've noticed in myself. We're not here to talk about me, obviously, but it's just an example. You're right, because there was a round a couple of weeks ago that I had 3 doubles in the first 5 holes, right? And then I think I shot from the 5th hole onwards. I think I shot like 1 over for the rest of the round.
That's amazing.
It's awesome.
That's
And
really
just
good.
That's so much
knuckled
composure.
down. It might have been 2 over, but just knuckled down and just freaking
unreal.
went to town.
Yeah.
Played really well. And ended up walking away with a half decent score. So the first 5 holes were just kind of null and void. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of those things where I'm stepping up on the tee box going, yeah, that sucked. And yeah, you'd have a little tanty or whatever, and then
Give yourself that 20
it's
seconds.
this long. The tanties are this long as opposed to
As opposed to 9 holes.
as opposed to weeks, which is
Yeah.
what they were getting to. So
It's
Did you notice the most?
yeah,
for me.
Apart from losing 4 shots to play with, like you're not standing up on fucking, I'm trying to think what hole. Like you don't get a shot on.
Losing the shot on 11 was hard.
That's the one. That's
Yeah.
rated 8, isn't it?
No, that's 6.
Oh, is it 6?
Yeah. So
Oh,
if you play, so 5, playing handicap of 5, you lose.
You lose 11. Wow.
Which is like that's a tricky hole for me, like because I got a tendency for a snap hook, and it's like, but I can also drive it over the corner, and it's one of those things where it's like I've actually taken to hitting 3-wood now, because 3-wood I have a much bigger window to hit it in, whereas if I hit driver, if I don't hit it perfectly on line, I'm in the creek because it's dogleg left. Even though I can still hit it over the corner, it's still really narrow because of the line that I have to hit. I can't go further left because there's trees and corner and stuff like that, and you have to get it up quick to try and get it over that tree. So,
So here's
now I'm
here's
hitting
why
3-wood
here's
to
why
that
I'm smiling
corner.
the way you're explaining that is because 6 months ago, even to a year ago, you would have been like, "Well, it's a long hole. I'm just going to hit driver."
no, definitely.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
this golf
definitely.
IQ. Now that sounds simple to you, doesn't it? That you've just
Yeah, for sure.
explained a simple strategy to better your score on a hole
Yeah.
that you used to struggle with because you didn't know why you struggled
Totally.
with it.
Yeah.
And now you're just like, why don't I just hit 3-wood
And the
and
frustrating
take
part
and
was
make
like-
and make bogey at absolute worst?
I'd have some days where I would hit driver and it would come off mint, and
Yeah.
then I've got 65 meters.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
and now you're looking
this
at
is
birdie.
like a 370 meter hole.
Well, you get up to it, and sometimes if I'm hitting it amazing, yeah, I'll take off a little bit more,
Yeah.
and I'll swing hard at it. If it goes left, I'm fine. I'm just I might go 12 tee box or path or something like that.
Yeah.
I just punch it through, and it
Yep.
generally works out fine. But if I'm not hitting it all that great, I all of a sudden put the ball further in my stance,
Yeah.
and open the shoulders a little bit, and just make sure I hit a spinny fade.
Yeah.
Just make sure it cuts.
Get in the fairway,
Just get in the
and then-
fairway, and now I've all of a
Because
sudden
that's a
I've got-
pretty gettable hole from that, even from a little bit further away. You're
can
playing
be.
into a green that's a bit of like,
It sort of bowls towards
bit
the
of
hole a
bowl
little bit.
towards the hole.
Yeah.
You're playing into an uphill. Like,
Yeah.
don't go long, and you're sweet.
and you're
Yeah,
fine.
Like, yeah,
and you're
so-
fine. Even that right bunker,
Yeah.
that right bunker is better than left of the green.
Yeah,
honestly,
definitely.
honestly.
Because it's also
Unless you plug,
usually where the pin is too, unless
Yeah.
it's like back right or something.
Yeah.
like it sort of funnels towards that.
it
pin
funnels
stuff
to it.
too,
And if
so-
you have a great light, you can get aggressive. And
Little
that's
things
that,
like
I was
that, I think.
actually smiling while you explaining that because I'm like, that's just it's you haven't changed anything in your swing. You haven't changed anything of the way you hit the ball. You haven't changed anything with fuck knows what. It's just a little bit of strategy.
Yeah.
You've just thought
So-
about it. It's just golf IQ.
It's so funny. He says I haven't changed anything in my swing. Like,
Well, you have.
Obviously, I'm
no. As in for that hole, you haven't gone.
No,
like,
no,
I need to
totally,
now.
totally.
I need to learn how to hit a draw now around that corner with driver because I have to take driver because it's a long
100%.
par 4.
Yeah,
no,
yeah, for sure.
you don't have to.
No,
And
I understand what you're
you're sitting here smiling at how he's explaining it, and I'm sitting here smiling because I literally had this conversation with SGM today at Rosanna. We went and had a practice with you, and SGM's talking to me about like, oh, I need to start thinking about things a little bit differently and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, you don't have to take driver everywhere. If it's not working, put it away.
Yeah.
Right. He smokes that hybrid that he loves.
He does, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking it's the same thing that I have. It's the same approach. I just lost 10 at Heidelberg, which
Yeah.
is a
That's
like,
tricky.
It's
That's a shit
90
hole.
degree.
It's
That's
terrible.
6. That's rated 6.
I reckon I've made bogey more than I made par on that fucking hole.
I
I've
probably-
lost more balls than I reckon I made birdie.
I probably do
How do you lose
too.
balls there?
exactly.
Because the driving range is right there.
No, I don't hit it onto the driving range. Anyway,
I hit it long into the Gumby.
I hit it long through the corner
Yeah.
every
Same.
time.
So with a shot up your sleeve, you just try and pump driver over the trees and hope that you carry it.
Yeah.
Now I don't have that anymore, so I have to make 4. Right. And I'm like,
Slotted
all right,
cut over the bunker.
try and slot one or, bund up at 3-wood to the corner and hit a 9-iron in or whatever it might be.
It's not a long shot in either, but
not.
it's awkward.
it's awkward because the ball
weird.
is 2 meters below your feet.
Yeah, definitely.
So and having these conversations with SGM at the moment about
It's just little things like that.
approaching the golf course differently. And I said it, 8 is the number one example for me. It's the hardest hole in the course, but if anything is against me, I take less than driver and just put it to the corner. Just try and put it to the corner, give myself 170 meters, even 170 meters in. I'm like, all right, I'll just bun up a 5-iron.
Yeah.
Like, just see what happens. And I've still got a shot up my sleeve
Yeah.
and I can make 5 for 2 and walk away happy.
Exactly.
But if things are favorable, have a crack with driver.
Yeah, why not? If you're swinging it good, it's all about confidence.
Absolutely.
That's all it is. And that's the same thing with Michael.
And I
Michael's
can't
done the
wait.
same thing.
I can't wait to see how he starts approaching that next level of thought
Yeah,
in the next
he's
little
al-
while.
He already sort of has.
But it brings me back to something that I wanted to speak to you about. I mentioned last week that I've started reading a book called Fearless Golf
Sure.
by a sports psych over in the States.
Yep.
Worked with Matt Kuchar and Davis Love III and all this kind of stuff. So he's well credited. And it's all about finding different ways to zone out of the difficulties in golf and approach a mindset that you can truly say that you have zero fear going into whatever scenario you're going into. So far, it's a good read. I'm just over halfway through it. I'm taking my sweet ass time with it. And I'm plucking little bits away from it. But that whole process that you just explained about taking different lines and clubs into holes and stuff, there's elements of fear that come into that.
Definitely.
Because the fear is I don't have a shot anymore. So I need to think of something else. And then, but what if I take less than driver and I still don't pull it off?
Yeah, definitely.
Or I hit a snap hook with a 2-iron instead of a driver and I'm all of a sudden I'm 40 meters further back than what I normally am.
Yep.
And I'm still in the shit.
Yeah, definitely.
All these fears start creeping into the mind. Have you, in the last little while, addressed fear in golf at all? Because I know you're very heavily involved in the psychiatric side of golf and the psychology of golf.
Yeah.
I want to know if there's been any developments in playing fearlessly.
So specifically fearlessly, I mean, define fear really. So, I suppose for, but when I say that, I mean, it's different for everybody,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So is fear making bogey? Is fear looking silly? Is fear being outdriven? Is fear not scoring well at the end of the day? What,
I suppose regardless of what it is,
right?
I suppose regardless of what it is, like there's going to be a fear that creeps up on anybody at any point in time.
Totally. I think so in terms of, look, I mean, in terms of the mental game, obviously we spoke about it a bit last time and all that kind of thing. Like in our household between my wife and I, my wife is she's a competitive weightlifter. Shout out Tess. She's just recently broken the Australian national record for snatching, clean and jerk in weightlifting, which is good shout. Nice. So something that we talk about, look, she's still relatively new to competitive sport. When I say new to that, so like, she's obviously devotes her entire life to it, but it's a topic of conversation for us every day. She has a mental coach, she has a nutritionist, she's obviously dealing with the trials and tribulations of competing at the highest level. I've been through a lot of that when I was younger, and we talk about that kind of thing a lot. Now, how that relates to fear and I guess how you process that. Look, I haven't read the book Fearless Golf, so specifically the context that they're talking about it in, I think, look, in terms of a general sense, look, I definitely, like, for me, look, I can only really comment about me. Like, we talk about tests and all that kind of thing a lot and stuff as well, and we sort of both share experiences and that kind of thing, because weightlifting, golf, two very different. Different sports, but very similar at the same time.
Yeah, I see it.
So closed loop sports, right? So you're the one who has to pull the trigger. It's not like someone's thrown a ball at you and you can react and catch it. You're standing there and you've got to decide when you're going to pull the trigger. Same with weightlifting. You've got to stand there and pick up that bar and put it above your head, right? So getting back to the fear side of things, I suppose addressing that and how you approach that, for me, I'm very, very driven by results. It's no secret that I practice, too much, and I want to get better, and I'm very, very, very driven, and I'm, very, that's just the way I approach things that I get obsessed with and that kind of stuff. So, talking about the fear side of things, my fear is like, I chase the feeling that I get at the end of it. And for me, addressing that and stuff like that has been tricky, because like, if you then start thinking about results, and the fear for me is not having results and all that kind of stuff, you let that cloud your judgment.
Yes.
Now you're not playing golf. You're basically garnering against against like what may happen in case you fuck it up or whatever.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
okay.
mean? So I suppose it's a bit of a roundabout way of getting back to that fearless sort of thing. But for me, like I guess addressing that and stuff like that, there's a few things that I do, to sort of combat that. And, the standard thing, it's funny, I sort of went through that process of trying things like breathing and all that kind of stuff. That doesn't work for me at all. Like I've spent my life racing dirt bikes and motorbikes and,
Everything's
and
go,
it's-
go, go.
Yes, everything's
Everything's
go, go, go.
flat
And
out,
for
yeah.
me, when I'm feeling nervous or when I'm feeling fearful,
You get quicker.
my way that I approach it is I actually attack it head on.
Yeah.
I'm in my head, I'm going, fuck yeah, let's go. Like I'm gonna tear this thing apart.
Yeah.
Not always, and this is where golf is really hard. Not always the perfect thing in golf.
No.
I'm hitting a 30-meter pitch. It's not like
It's not
You don't need to go.
It's not like you're about to
it's
fight
a really
a gorilla.
interesting
Like,
point that you bring up because like that's a really hard one to balance with golf. Is that like for me, it's like my whole life has been like I played lacrosse for 20 years. If I'm getting fired up and pissed off, I can go over there and punch someone in the face. You know,
Yeah.
I can't do that in golf.
No,
I'm
God,
getting
no.
a 3-month holiday and I'll be getting a letter home. You know,
Absolutely.
So things like that, I suppose, approaching the fearless thing, right? You know, approaching the fearless thing, I think, like I've definitely learnt better, and I think that comes back to the point of like talking about the. Like just learning that golf IQ and understanding that and going, hey, I don't need to force the issue. Yes, I'm going to approach this. Yes, I'm, you know, and giving yourself the confidence to do it and believing in yourself and that kind of
Absolutely.
thing. But yeah,
it's all a learning
approaching
curve, but it's all
Yeah.
builds confidence.
How do you? I mean, this is one thing. I mean, Joel's played enough golf that he's like he knows he's going to. I think he always feels like he's going to pull off a great shot. No.
You know
but
what?
I
No,
mean
you
this- I
laugh.
mean
You
this in
laugh. This is a genuine thought that I've had in the
really
past.
positive way because I look at you and I'm just like, even if you're stinking around, I'm looking at him. I'm like, I've seen him like one day dead chunk it on 15. We were just playing holes, right?
Shut up! Shut up! Okay, hang on. Yeah.
Let me finish. Dead chunked it, right? I'm
15?
talking, on 15. I'm talking. So if those that know Rosanna, there's like a set of bushes that aren't even 20 meters from the tee.
Fuck off! I didn't put it in that, did I?
No, it just made it past them. And I'm just like, I looked. I was like,
What hole's this?
in the
15.
15, the par 3.
Fuck. Did I make the
I'm
fairway?
just like, what? Huh?
Did I make the fairway?
Yeah, it was on the fairway,
Oh,
but it was like
beautiful.
so it was on the line of the bunker and left, and I'm just like, what in the world? And you weren't having a good day, you know, and this is early,
Even
like this is years ago.
sorry.
No, because we were like hitting balls after work.
Oh, okay.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just like, what the hell? And like he was steaming, like he's steaming.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I look at it, and I shit you not, like he probably still had 100 meters in.
Yeah.
I reckon maybe a little bit less than that.
Yeah.
And I shit you not, he put it to this far. And it was back left on the hill. Like how he stopped it up there and he flew it right there and stopped it this far from the hole. Didn't even bother getting his putter out, just taps it in with a wedge. And I'm just like,
Can I tell you a story?
to the point.
So
hang on,
ask-
I just want to hear his
Go.
answer on the fearless thing. So like, how do you
What's
approach
your
that?
answer? What's your question?
No, my
Like,
question
how do you
is like,
approach- how do you
I suppose
approach fear?
when you talk
Fear.
about fear, like, do you feel fear over a shot?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
I imagine you would. Okay.
100%.
You don't.
So-
you don't project that though.
Just quickly before you answer that question, is it dictated by the level of the event that you're playing in?
No,
Cool.
absolutely not.
Okay.
Which it used
I think
to.
it's. I think
it
it's
absolutely
natural
used to.
too.
It absolutely
Like,
used
you
to.
have to.
I would stand, which is weird because my mentality has changed now. I would be so nervous over points of a pennant round over any other tournament.
Yeah, really.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've explained like the most nervous I've ever been, and I explained that one putt I had in a pennant final, I think,
Sure.
where I went to pull the trigger to pull the putter back and nothing moved.
And you playing other people. We were
And
playing
it was,
four other people.
weird.
and
It
stuff
was
too. I
weird.
get
It was
that.
weird.
Yeah.
It didn't mean anything. It meant, a team win or whatever it was. But anyway, whereas standing over a ball at Q score, I'm like, let's go.
Yeah, okay.
Like, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
in terms of fear, there is definitely times where I'm be standing over a shot going, what if I fuck this? There's absolutely. Or I'm standing over a tee ball and even if there's only one or two people watching, I don't want to fuck this up in front of them.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think the belief is there,
Yeah.
and the muscle memory takes over. So,
It just goes back to naught. Yeah.
and it goes,
can fall back on
and
that.
it's so easy. I find it so easy now to go back to a basic, to just trust my body.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we had a chat about this particular topic, probably, I reckon, no shit, about 3 years ago. And you explained, and you said you
Was
raised.
this to the chat about flow state?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I find I can't control. No one can control whether you go into it or not, but you can definitely control
Elements of it.
I've found that. So particularly during Q school, just recently, first stage, that playoff, there was, I don't know what it was. It was the best 3 holes of golf I played probably this year.
Really?
Yeah,
Everything was perfect.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
And yeah, I only went par birdie or something like that. But every shot was executed to the number, on the number.
Yeah.
Perfect. Right. And I don't remember the second hole of the playoff.
Love that.
Wouldn't have a fucking clue.
Yeah, right.
But that wasn't even the best hole I played. I remember the last hole of the playoff because of what it meant and what it got me into.
Naturally.
And now what it means now, which is I can remember that. But in terms of fear, it's like I've hit there's particular shots. I've hit probably 10,000 more shots in every aspect of the game than probably both of you combined.
Yep.
Sure.
So in terms of a chip
reckon I'm
shot,
catching up,
in
though.
terms of you probably are, but it's like just the trust and the belief in your ability, even if your mind isn't there, even if you are doubting yourself.
Yeah.
So there is times like even over a small wedge shot, like you have covered. It's like, what if I just duff it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like, no. That's what all the practice is for.
Yeah.
So you clear your mind up. And I find it very easy to do because I could sit, like if you got everything out of this room and cleared it all out, I could sit in the middle of this room, dead silent for days.
You could.
Like I feel like I could.
Oh,
just
yeah,
completely
right.
blank-minded. Just give me food and I'm set. I don't, I can think, I can just set with blank mind.
Yeah, right.
Right. So I find I can somewhat control that in aspects of the game, especially when I'm doubting myself.
Yeah.
So I can sort of turn it off a little bit and just trust my body.
Yeah,
And just go,
that-
all right,
that is-
take over.
That's
So impressive.
that's what we don't have.
No,
I
correct.
don't have that.
It's
Like-
not
like-
even. It's not even like you don't have it. It's like a learned skill, especially
100%.
especially
Comes with
when
time, man, for sure.
and it teaches you. I feel like the people that go through certain stages, especially in where I'm trying to get to, like guys that do it first time don't learn.
Yes.
And that's why they go like junior career, amateur career, and then first time at Q school, fucking bang, they're on the tour. And then all of a sudden they're at the bottom of the list.
Yeah.
Because now it means something.
They've never experienced
Because they've never
failure.
experienced
failure.
They've never experienced the pressure of this putt means you have a job for the next 12 months.
Oh yeah, man.
Right. So because it's failure, but I've experienced so much of no, you didn't get there.
Yeah.
No, that didn't work. Now you have to wait for another, So I now understand what it takes, for the most part, and what your mindset really needs to be and why you can't let what if I the question what if I fuck up take over
for sure.
Yeah.
so probably the worst one was probably at Asian Tour Q school, even though I played actually quite well that week for 90% of it, and there was that 10% where it was just like the elements got in the way and a little bit of, maybe I wouldn't even call it a lack of practice, but maybe a lack of understanding of actually how hard it was going to be.
Yep.
But yeah, there was fear involved where I just didn't back myself.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
just
for sure.
I didn't know the situation I was in. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I had no idea because I hadn't been there before.
Yeah.
And so with Q school, that's why this year, I didn't play great. I actually in final stage I did not play much good golf at all. But I still said no, I can still sort of gather the troops here and go fight. So
Right.
I still understand how to navigate this ball around the golf course and sort of stand over it going, I don't know where this is going to go.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's when your body takes over and and you look up and the results like, oh yeah, okay, that's better than I thought it would.
Yeah.
Because you weren't actually, I sort of just cleared the mind and just let the body do it.
Totally.
I'm going to get into a story in a minute, but I want to just mention one thing. It's crazy to think just how easily fear can slip back in.
Definitely.
Right? So people have listened over the last few weeks. I've come in a fair bit and I've played well, right? The last 2 weeks in particular, it hasn't gone my way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've regressed a little bit in terms of quality of golf and all that kind of stuff and everything else. And I'm starting to sit here think, well, what if it was just a 3-week flash in the pan, right? What if it was just 3 weeks of good golf and now I'm back at work and all this kind of stuff? And the answer is no, right? And then it comes to things like today where we go out and play holes at Rosanna for a little bit, and the first 6 or 7 holes, I'm not hitting it all that great. And then I find, and the fear creeps in of like, well, what if this carries into Saturday? Right? And that's all it needs is that little bit of fear. And it is fear, right?
Yeah.
What if this creeps into Saturday? And what happens if I do have another shit round? Well, that's another flag without a round that I've wasted to play well, stress free. And it spirals from there. But then all of a sudden you catch a small feeling. And I explained it to you today, right? I just need to slow everything down. Right?
You did.
Just start smoothing it out there and start.
I'm trying to think of the tee-ball. Down five, you actually muttered under your breath when you hit the tee-ball. You're like, oh my God, that was so close. Like you whisper to yourself, and then up 8, you fucking launched one.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
And you look back and you're like, oh my God. And like, you're like, that sort of clicked like, oh my God. And then you fucking smoked one up 9. You made an easy birdie. But anyway.
Interesting.
Sorry,
but there was still,
sorry.
There was still elements of fear involved in that, where it was just like, all right, cool, you catch a feeling, you hit one decent one, right? Well, what if it's only one, right? And then you hit another one, and it's great.
That's where that trust and belief.
And the trust and belief comes in, and then the way I get over it is I just keep telling myself, you've done this so many times.
To literally complement that, fear basically means you're scared of experience something that you haven't experienced before. Yeah. Let's say that. So if someone's like, the only 2 natural like human fears is the scared of loud noises and the fear of heights.
Yeah.
That's the 2 natural. Everything else is learned.
Yeah.
Right? So for example, if someone says, no, I've got a fear of skydiving, right?
That's because you tried skydiving and you shit yourself.
No. It's because you have no idea what it's like.
Yeah, correct.
You have no idea what to do because you haven't practiced it.
Yeah, correct.
So people go, no, I don't chip from off the green because they don't practice it. They've never done it before. They don't do it. And the one time they did try it, they fucking fell and broke their leg.
Yeah.
So they don't do it anymore.
Yeah, correct.
Because they haven't practiced it. They don't know what it's like. So that's where that fear-based is. So when they miss the green, fucking dummy, the toy's out of the cot.
Yeah.
So that's what that fear-based is. So that's why practice is so important.
It's so ridiculous.
How simple is that? But it's so important. It's like you see people develop the putting yips, but you never see them practice putting because they're scared. They don't want to practice putting because they're so scared of that feeling.
Yeah.
And so they don't do it. That's how it's developed. They're so scared of that result and fucking up or missing that they start developing this jitter, and then you never see them on the practice green.
Yeah.
They flush it off the tee, so where do you see them? Out on the range. Because they're not scared.
Yeah, correct.
You know what I mean? It's like
They
it's just a
put the work
barrier.
in.
It's just a barrier. So that you never see them on the putting green working on it because they're scared.
It is funny. Mine was it's like similar to your point. I had a, you have like swing thoughts or swing feels and stuff like that you get and you build, and some are better than others.
Yep.
And it's funny talking about my golf game and like I said before, I practice a heap. So just before my surgery, and this is why I was dejected because I was obviously locked in having the surgery 2 months ago.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden you're playing Unreal.
No, I wasn't playing Unreal, and I put too much pressure on myself on the weekend before I had surgery because I was
most of it.
But not just that, is that I had a proper breakthrough swing wise and stuff like that. And I was like, oh my God, I'm hitting this as good as you saw me hitting in a moon boot in the sim.
That was pretty flush. That was
dead,
pretty crispy.
Dead flush, and I'm just this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So we can get into that feel and all that because that's been a whole different ballgame if you like. But it was the fear of now I know I'm not gonna be able to play for a bit.
What happens if I lose it?
What happens if I lose it? And you know what I've actually
yeah.
started doing because of that fear is I talk to I film myself. I can't believe I'm saying this.
No.
That's
I film myself and talk to myself and talk through the swing feel because it's so funny. I was this morning, I raced into work at 6:30 this morning and was hitting balls into the sim because I had a swing feel laying in bed last night. And, just with driver's the last thing I need to work out because the swing feel doesn't work for irons. Sorry, it doesn't work for driver. It's because obviously driver's teed up, got to hit up on it and stuff.
Yeah.
So the swing feels so, and that was the only one I couldn't work out because But
dude, don't feel stupid recording yourself. We had to do that down at Moona.
Man.
We did go down for State Squad. We did
Really?
we did a 10-minute recording.
Seriously?
We had to speak to ourselves.
Yeah, okay.
We had to
'Cause
do a 10-minute recording and you
I've
had to
done it
look
before too.
You had to look dead into the camera and you were not allowed to look up.
Yeah.
And then I think it was 4 weeks later when we did our next session, you had to watch it
go
and you
back
had
to
to
it.
stare at yourself.
Yeah.
Just so you got everything.
See that it's crazy,
You had to
and
do
that's
it.
why writing it down is not enough. for
No.
me.
No.
It's
No,
like
you have to
I
hear
need
it.
to do.
I
to hear
do. So in my car, I
Yeah.
have voice memos.
Oh, really?
And they're
You've
all
spoken
banked
about
up,
this, yeah.
right? And I haven't done one for ages.
Yeah.
But like during COVID, coming out of COVID, when we were going to the range every fucking Thursday, I
did
was
too.
every range session.
too.
Really?
Yeah.
Went to the range
Yeah,
with Joel
good.
today, had this feeling, hit 3-wood unreal. This is why.
Yeah.
And every few months I go back and just listen
back
to
and
them.
start listening.
And it's like a diary now. I just
Yeah.
go back and there's stuff in there from 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I just listen to it now. I'm like, fuck, you sucked back then.
Yeah.
Right?
But
and then I'll update it.
yeah, it still helps.
I'll
dude.
update it with one and just go,
Segregation.
let's have a chat about where things are at the
Yeah.
moment. And it's like
Yeah.
now they're like a year apart or
Yep.
6 months apart. And it's just, and I probably should do one soon because it's been a bit massive change. But the two things I want to say, the last thing on fear before we move on. There's a fine line between fear and lack of confidence. Right. And the two are very much hand in hand, but they also
Probably confused at times.
confused
as
at
well,
times.
Can,
right?
absolutely.
And it is when there is a lack of confidence, one's a precursor to the other, right? So a lack of confidence will bring on fear. And if you can combat the fear with confidence, you're better off in that sense. That's what I found at least. And reassurance, right? Telling myself and speaking to myself out on the golf course when I'm faced with a chip into grain to a tucked pin and I just go, right, well, okay, you know how to execute a shot that will get you somewhere.
Yeah.
Just don't expect it to go in.
Just do it.
Just accept the reality of the circumstance and just go, right, this isn't going to work. And that's the next part that I'm really struggling with is accepting the circumstances.
Yeah.
And that's why I had a really shit mental day last Saturday and when the greens were shit and I couldn't putt, right?
Yeah.
So that's the next step for me. The second thing I wanted to say was the term swing thoughts,
Yep.
I'm off.
Swing feels I like.
That's where I
Yes.
that's where I
Yeah,
like.
yeah, for sure.
My swing thought at the moment is always achieve X feeling.
Yep.
Never
it's all
remember to
feel-based.
go here, then there, then here, then there,
Oh,
then
no,
here,
no,
then
no,
there,
no. Yeah,
and remember what this feels like, and that feels like
the same
fuck.
thing. It gets you the same. It gets you to the same position, but it's just a different. It's
Correct.
just a different way of thinking.
Because if I start thinking about it needs to be in this position and that position and this position here, and it's like tick the
Just
the
relate it
box,
to a feeling.
right? It has to relate to a feeling.
Yeah, just relate to a feeling.
right. I felt, and this is just a
I think
off
that's
example.
a lot easier to recall too. Like,
Absolutely it
fe-
is.
We talk about feel versus real.
Yeah.
And your swing thought, like, you know.
Your swing thought is not real.
I've got to get it to here.
not
It's
real.
probably the different position every time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
it
correct.
is.
So-
Absolutely, it is.
But no, that's excellent.
Can I just touch on just in terms of that the fear thing and stuff like that with you? So I want to give you level 2 of the
Okay.
mental game, all right? And level 2 of the mental game, and where we talk about what we don't have.
Yeah.
What he does have is the subconscious game.
Okay.
So talking about that, so
Yeah.
he's not consciously thinking about it. When you talk about, and it's funny, like if like reading more, I encourage you to read more into that topic. In like, and again, like this is the topic of conversation nearly every day in our household. When Tess and I are sitting there making dinner or whatever, and we're talking about this kind of stuff. But when you start telling yourself, no, it's all good. I've got this. You've now taken yourself away from the process.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So if this
glad he's- I'm
becomes
glad he's bringing this up.
subconscious,
Glad he's
you
bringing
don't
this up.
need to have that. That's like it's like a belief. It's a feeling inside that it's
Yeah.
like. Do you know what I mean? It's like talking about we spoke about flow state and stuff like that. Flow state is like as soon as you know when you're having a blind around, you can barely remember and you're just like, oh man, it's just, and you're just cruising and you feel calm and everything like that, and then someone tells you your score, and then you're like,
You wake up.
what?
Hey, you know what that relates to? How easy is breathing?
Yeah.
The second someone goes, all right, in through the nose, out through the mouth,
100%.
you start thinking about your
You start
breathing.
thinking,
And all of a
oh,
sudden,
God.
it's now difficult.
How do
all of a sudden
how do I not forget how to breathe?
And then all of a sudden you're like, wait, fuck, how long
This
am I?
is
How long am I? Oh shit! And now it's like you're thinking about it,
Yeah.
and now it becomes difficult.
yeah, and there are things.
Fuck, now I'm thinking about it.
And then, so
You're
on
exactly
that,
right.
It's like it's really tricky because there are things that you can do that expedite that process of working in that. And like Tess and I talk about limitless all the time. She's limitless, and that's what we project all the time.
Yeah.
Is very much that, like, for her it's building that belief and that kind of thing and being limitless. That is the key for her.
It's-
Like she's relatively, in the scheme of things, she's new to it. She's been doing weightlifting for about 4 or 5 years, but she's number one in Australia at the moment. So it's like, it's almost like woke up and then she's here, and it's like, whoa, hang on. But you're building that subconscious belief and stuff like that. So now when she gets up on the platform, she looks out at the people, and it's like she's not thinking about, all right, just focus. Yep, just then you just got to lift this.
No, you're just
it's
there.
Just like
She's
she's there.
there.
And she's just like
You're just there.
she in her head. She's just like, I've got this. This is it.
Yeah.
Bang.
It's
Cool. It's cool to talk about. I love
So
it.
cool to talk about, and I'm just starting. You're rattling things off, and I'm starting to think about how I'm actually approaching golf in the past, and it's starting to creep in a little bit, right? Because there's been times where I've stepped up onto 13 and just go, right, I'm going to miss the green here, but I'll make up and down for par. And the next thing you know, I'm walking to 14, going, yeah, put me down for a 3, thank you, right? And I'm just like, oh shit, that happened, and you just don't think about it, or you're like, I'll put one left on another fairway and punch out and just go, oh, I'll just go make up and down from there. And then all of a sudden you made up and down from there.
It's just a
And
mentality. If
you walk up
if you've already played the hole before you've teed off, you've lost.
100%.
100%,
100%.
man.
And it's about embracing
If you've already
everything.
played the hole, you're fucked.
But there's I understand where you're coming from, but there's elements where I'm just like, oh, this will happen and I can just do it and I'll just do it.
Yeah, yeah.
And you pull it off.
Yeah.
But
I
then
think
there's
what you're
also
referring to as well is not being spooked by it. Too.
Correct.
So you're like, oh, it's cool. I can hit it over there because I know I can make up and down from there.
Yeah,
No
correct.
absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
a confidence thing.
absolutely.
That's where it overrides everything.
and that's kind of what I'm experiencing through the good golf is that, yeah, I can put it in these tricky positions and I can just walk up and go. And the one thing I notice is that things go quiet.
Yes, they do. It's the
Things
best
go
feeling,
quiet. And like if
Live my life in flow
you've
state
probably
if I could.
experienced this with me a little bit.
Flow state's the fucking best.
You probably experienced this a little bit with me when we're actually playing comps and I'm playing well and I hit good shots. You'll go shot drags and I'll be like,
man. Sick. How good.
cool.
Keep
And I'll
it.
just move on.
But you do the
But
same
when I hit
thing every
shot-
time. You do the same thing every time. You do the same process every time, and you probably don't even notice.
No.
You probably don't even notice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You clean the club with the same side of the bag.
Yep.
When you've played shit, when you hit a bad shot, you stand at your bag for that extra second, and you don't generally clean your club.
How funny
No.
is it that stuff creeps in without
Absolutely.
us consciously
You don't even know
thinking
it.
about
But
it and
here's
stuff
the
like
thing.
that.
I
You
know-
know when you
I know
sometimes
I
you
do
feel
it.
rushed.
I do.
or
I know I
you-
do it.
Whatever. Those
And
things
because I think
happen.
about these things, I know I do them and I'm well aware that I do it. But when I'm in the moment,
You don't.
it's just subconscious, like you
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yep, cool, that's great. 4 feet, no dramas, club in the bag. So yeah, Michael, who the Tigers playing this week?
One thing I do want to bring up. It's embarrassing.
And this is the story. You're not saying it. I am. Today we went and played holes at Rosanna. And we got to 3. Me, Joel, and SGM. And me and SGM hit nice shots under the green. Joel actually said it was the best golf swing I've ever seen. He's ever seen me put on a golf ball.
It was
And
unreal.
it was 12 feet past the flag, but I don't give a fuck. It was good.
fine.
Wait,
And
which tee?
Right.
Michael and I
Right
teed off
tee. Okay.
the right
Yeah,
side.
yeah. So you're playing over that bunker.
It was one.
It's a tough shot,
It was
man.
117 to the. No, it was bottom left flag. So it's green light. Green light.
okay,
Green light
right,
flag.
Green
birdie
light
pin.
with wedge, and
Birdie
he's
pin, let's go.
this tempo town shot. He cleared perfectly.
Yeah.
It starts sort of just left of the hole. It's starting to trickle back, and it was about 12 feet.
Sick.
And it was just the golf shot, the swing, the comfort you had in that shot, and the ball flight was like, whoa,
Oh, sick.
And I literally said to him, I'm like,
Effortless.
that is the best golf shot I've ever seen you hit.
Yeah.
In terms of
And that was the comment
everything.
that sparked the revelation in the golf swing change.
Right.
Anyway,
No,
so me and Michael
probably
hit our
was.
balls and it's all well and good. Old mate steps up, right, and puts his ball on the ground and he's been on the phone as well.
that always helps.
It's
True, it was too.
right. And I kind of hate when he does it. I get that we're just playing holes, and
Talking
we're
on the
fucking
phone
around.
or-
but yeah, he was on the phone, like,
Yeah,
making
it
phone
was-
calls, and it was
Yeah.
business phone calls. So I'm not going to
Just
sit here and
business guy, just business over there.
business, right? And
Joel's business.
pulls his club out. Yeah,
What
what's
colour
the
crayon
number?
do you
No
want today,
dramas.
mate?
I've got this, and then proceeds. And I like it's a bit of glare from the sun.
Okay.
So the ball he swings. There's a contact made. The sound wasn't great, and then I look at the flag because that's where I always look with Joel. And then he looks over here.
Oh, what?
A flat chat hosel rocket
Wait.
It was-
This is on 3.
on
Yeah.
3.
Did you hit it left of the boat?
No.
Whoa!
It was right of the water.
Shout out!
It was
shout out
right.
Brucey.
It was,
was
right
right
of
of
the
the
water.
So-
4 meters away from old mate's back fence.
It was
There
a
is-
straight shank.
There is so people that know Rosanna, there is an upside down turned like rowboat.
I don't think that was
on,
there.
on
I
the
didn't even
right hand
notice.
side. And Brucey stands up there every week and goes, "All right, left of the boat."
Every time. It's the best. And he'll dump it into the piss. You guys left of the boat.
Yeah, it's good.
Right, but so
Anyway,
I've hit a straight shank, and it was one of them flighted ones.
Wow.
Where it starts over the piss and just
Yeah.
right. And I sort of just like let go of the club, looking at it, going, It's going to be a weird 3. Like this.
Legit the comment out of his mouth, like, that's going to be an awesome 3.
Yeah.
Right? So he hits another ball just for whatever.
That fearless confidence that just.
Michael and I walk up the left-hand side, left of the boat, right? To the
goes
green.
right.
He goes, I'll see he's there. And
know
I'm
what
like,
I
no
did?
dramas.
You know what I did? I had 62.
Wow.
And he's hitting off hard pan like dirt.
Dirt and sticks
Dirt.
and leaves.
Right?
And
It
stuff.
was
Yeah.
horrendous.
Yeah.
And he's not kicking this ball back to the fairway. He's playing it as it lies.
Yep.
And I literally made the comment to Michael because I got to the green. I turned around. I'm like, "What are you doing back there?" Right? Fucking giving him shit.
Totally.
I turned to
You know
Michael.
what that did? You know what that did?
You don't give it. Yeah.
You know what that did
This
when
is
you said, "What are you doing over there, champ?" You gave me a champ, and I'm like,
This is the Tiger focus.
The I just
The
went
Tiger
with
focus.
with the match. Just went psst, and then just threw it on him. And he was like, "All right, let's go." I turned to Michael and I said, "If he stumps this, I'm throwing it back at him." And sure enough, he puts it to this, and I fucking picked up and threw it back at him. I was like,
I put it to inside a foot. Apparently, I couldn't see it.
it was like 2 feet.
Well, because
at
it does
most.
drop down, so you got to get it up over the hill,
Well,
and then it runs back. You
I
actually
had-
play into a
I had
pin
like
that's-
a
He
really-
pitched it that far away from the hole.
Spun it
It
back.
skipped forward and then came back to 2 feet, and I was just like, "Have this back, fuck
blood
off."
an asshole.
But like, I walked up. I'm like, "How close was it?" And Michael's like, "Probably that." I'm like, "Ta." That's all I did.
Right,
but-
so I'm making 18 from there.
But then I think I proceeded. I was like 3 under for my next 5. I think.
Yeah.
I think I went like par birdie, par eagle or something. But
And
no, it was,
he goes, "We're walking off 9 green. We skipped 7. We tried to get ahead and beat the daylight."
Yeah.
And he goes, he taps in a 4-footer for eagle on 9.
Yeah.
Flush is 2 iron. It was mint. And he goes, "Can we just talk about the last 6 holes I played?" And he goes, "Yeah, birdie this, that, blah, blah, par, birdie, eagle, whatever. 4 under or whatever it was." And I'm like, "You want to know 2 words that'll ruin it for you?" And he goes, "What's that?" I'm like, "You should.
Yeah.
You should. 4 under through that 9 holes. And in that way you do it, you fucking should.
Yeah, that's fair.
You should.
That's fair.
You should. That's
But
the level he wants to
I'll
be
be
at. He
honest.
should walk onto that joint and shoot no more than
Yeah,
64.
but I don't think that takes away from it, man.
more than
golf,
64.
Golf is hard.
Golf is hard.
Golf
right?
is hard.
still gotta get in the hole, dude.
But this
Yeah.
is the level that we're at. I have to give him shit.
Oh, no.
I have to give him shit about
For
being
sure,
as good
mate.
as he is, but still not doing what he wants to do
For
because
sure.
he should.
Yet.
He should. Yet.
It's progression.
Right? And there
It's
is
progression.
progression,
This
and
is,
we're getting
hold on
there.
a minute. If we're going to bring up progression, we've got to bring up the gym. We've got to get this guy in the gym, man.
I know. I do.
Come on.
Yes.
I've
We
seen
gotta-
some
we
numbers
gotta
on track,
straighten-
man. I'm like, come on.
We got
I
to
was-
straighten that spine.
I've got to.
Nothing's doing
I've
that.
got
Jaws of life wouldn't get that
I got a
straight.
clip. I got a clip for you. Me hitting into the sim in the factory. 132 club head speed.
What?
Yep. Yep.
Is it on the planet?
Yeah, bro. It's like nuke down the middle.
Oh,
Show us later. But
mid.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, we'll put it up. You can put it up on the.
We'll put it on the
Go
Insta.
check a green jacket.
Let's move on.
Don't show my
that
surgeon.
was a great discussion
I
about
love
fear
that.
and
I
the
loved
mental
everything
side
about
of the game. And let us know what you thought, ladies and gents. We've got to
My
get
pleasure.
moving swiftly on.
Sorry. Before as we do, it's backing on literally that story we just told of me on 3. It's a bit like I've told you this probably 2 years ago, which sort of changed your mindset as well, was the individualization. It was like isolation of each shot.
Oh, 100%.
And like,
Yeah, you talk about
I
that a
just
lot.
hit a shank with a pitching wedge. I don't think I've hit it. I do remember the last.
Is the
shank I
ball
hit.
mark still on your hosel?
No, I rubbed that off.
but there's no way.
But like, I don't. I've hit my fair share of fucking ordinary shots, and everyone does. Even on Monday, I hit a shot that
Yeah.
I'm just like, what the fuck, right? But I don't think I've hit that
Shout,
sort of.
shout out Tom Okada. I hit a flush shank on 17, hit him in the head.
Oh, that's mid.
That broke me.
Wow.
I was very, very, very sad that day.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I heard about that. But it's
Shot isolation is
just shot isolation. Now
the cure.
I just hit a shank. I just shanked it.
yeah.
Right. But then now I've got a 62-meter wedge shot to a pin that I can't really see off shit.
Magumbi.
Off shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
how can I get this up and down?
Yeah.
So I sort of scoped it. I'm like, I've actually been kind of given a good lie considering what's around me. I'm like, I just put it back in the stance and hacked down on a 58. It came out flighted. It's straight at it. I'm like, this should be pretty good. And then I just see the ball come bounding back at me. I'm like, good 3. It's like, and then get
in
up.
my head, I'm like,
get up the next hole.
Just get it on the green.
Yeah.
No, so
Just,
get-
you
and
know.
then, but like, I'm not going to say I know how to play that shot.
No.
Because
You
just make it up.
I wouldn't practice it.
No.
But I understand what's going to get me to where I want to go.
Yep,
Yeah.
totally.
So I understand. I'm like, I have to hit ball first. If I knife it, well, it's going to be long of the hole. If I if I hit it great, it's going to be close.
Are you considering a miss at that point? Probably not. Just knocking around holes.
No, because I in my mind, it's like there is absolutely no way I'm leaving this spot unless I hit ball first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I
okay.
mean?
Yeah.
And that comes down to practice
So
as well.
are you
There is-
almost taking the result out of it in that instance?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you
100%.
have to.
It's
That's the most
100%. The
important thing, yeah.
actually, that's
And
a good
that's
point.
taking the result out of it eliminates thinking about a
My
mistake.
only concentration over that shot was I need to feel ball on face.
Yeah.
If I feel sand, I see
Yeah.
the ball go 10 feet.
Yeah.
Then I failed.
Yeah.
But if I feel ball first, this will be fine wherever
Yep.
it goes.
I can
So
feel
it was that was my only thought.
I play Rosanna a lot, and I know exactly what he's talking about, and I've been there before, unfortunately. But
not a
I
good
can
spot.
already feel that shot, and I
Yeah.
know I'm hitting that fat.
Yeah. So same.
Yeah.
100%. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, I know I don't want to blade it long. Long's like Magumbi up the hill sort of thing. I'm
it's
like,
not good.
Whereas, like, it almost feels, which is irrational, but it almost feels safer
To fat
being
it.
shorter. Do you
To
know what
fat
I
it,
mean?
yeah.
So you try, you try and help
Just
it. I
spoon
can
it.
already feel that happening.
Same.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas he's
Same.
just like, yeah. So
That's it.
interesting. There you go.
The more and more I sit in here and talk with him, the more and more he unlocks different thoughts in my mind. And I'm just like, oh, no, he's right.
And you know what?
Thoughts or trauma?
You know
Both,
You know,
both. But also, I sit here and I look at him. I'm like, for a bloke who looks as stupid as you can't be this right all the time.
I'm not right. And the fact
Are they?
that I'm so excited, I've got so much to learn too.
Oh,
I've got
dude.
so.
Isn't that just golf?
My journey. I'm
good.
this far to try and get to here. I'm
Yeah.
1% of my 100% journey right now.
Yeah, 100%.
But that's what it feels like anyway.
Daniel, you have a book on the table, a diary of sorts, and I feel like there's things in it that
I just don't want him to
enjoy.
bring up that bag. I just don't.
There's also
Do you ever think getting me on here, I'm not going to come prepared?
correct.
All right.
That's the terrifying part.
This just be careful because this might be the last time you ever sit in that chair.
Well,
Enjoy it while it lasts.
that's fine. So, I did organise a few little things.
Nice.
So, I have written some trivia.
Oh,
I have some trivia for you guys. I have some trivia. All right. To start.
I hate this. This is the fear setting in.
You will
I
be-
understand
you
this
will be
now.
grand. I kind of want to.
I don't have much fear on the golf course. I don't execute everything perfectly. This scares
Here's
me.
how we feel every day that we tee it up. Exactly.
This scares me.
I'm sweating.
All right. Who became the youngest player to reach $10 million in career earnings on the PGA Tour?
Rory McIlroy.
Wow, that was quick.
I feel like that's yep. Continue.
Which golfer?
Rory McIlroy.
No.
Shut up.
Let me finish. Which golfer won both the PGA Tour Player of the Year and the European Tour Golfer of the Year in the same season, but multiple times?
So,
Is it Rory McIlroy?
Seve Ballesteros.
I will accept Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy. What is Rory?
Can you not see where this is going?
What is Rory McIlroy's middle name?
Aldrich.
No idea.
No, that's Tiger's first name.
Daniel.
Oi, hey, door's there, champ. Oi, door's right behind him. If you, hey.
Fuck's sake.
Who
I know this name.
won the 2025 Masters tournament?
Rory McIlroy.
Marcus Raptopoulos.
What is it? The Sunday Master at Rosanna Golf, maybe. What does Christian have to do now that Rory has won a major?
Yeah, we know.
It actually says in capitals here. Can you read it out for me? Can you read it out for me, please?
Yep. It says nah.
It says nudie run at Berg.
Yeah.
I would ask for your rebuttal and response.
There's no rebuttal. There's no response. I know the bet I made.
Do you?
I do.
Okay. Well, because something else that I organised, I went through episode. I can't remember the episode number now, but I transcripted everything that was said.
Okay.
In that, I will breeze through this quickly. Christian, you and I, we've discussed this recently. I'm just going to drift off slightly. Joel, go for it. Christian, we're going to do a flushed or flubbed episode as well. Joel, what now? Christian, not now, but very soon. And Rory's going to play very heavily in my flushed or flubbed. Joel, if you put him flubbed, there's going to be a few statements I have. Christian, vehemently flubbed. Joel, you are one of the dumbest people. The PGA is at Quail Hollow. Christian, and what does that mean? Joel,
what does that
What
mean?
do you mean, what does that mean? He's won there like 6 times. Christian, like, okay, but it's a major, Joel. It's a major. Joel, it doesn't matter. Christian, it does. We're going to skip ahead because you guys ramble on a little bit. There was a little bit here that I wanted to just keep in there, but Joel said, no, honestly, do you want to know what that... Sorry, Christian said, no, honestly, do you want to know what that sounds like? And Joel said, it sounds like you can play off scratch if you don't have triples.
Did I say
Yes,
that?
you did. Yes, you did.
That's
But then
stiff.
from Christian, Daniel Rim is the biggest Rory McIlroy fan.
He is.
Christian, I hate to disappoint your brother. He ain't winning another major ever. Joel, you're wrong. You are wrong.
Come with receipts.
Joel, ever? All right. What are you doing if he wins? Christian, Ricky wins a major before Rory does.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Joel, you're doing a nudie run filmed onto the podcast story. Down the first at Berg. Christian, done. Joel, we've got this witness. You're telling me if Rory McIlroy never wins a major again, I'll do it. Joel, hang on. But if he does win a major, Christian, let's do it this year then. Joel, now you're backing down.
I feel like we're doing a table read.
Luke now pipes in here. You've got to play holes 1 to 4 at Berg without pants on. Christian, done. Done. Right.
You've come with receipts, and now I regret you being here.
That's
phenomenal.
That is hats off to, honestly.
Yeah, no, hats off, honestly.
Hats off to all 3 of us, actually. One, you. That's possibly the best thing I've ever seen on this pod. And 2, you owning it.
I did also bring you guys some gifts. Now, I think there was some discussion on,
Thank you, sir.
you know, I mean, we have to do this within the rules of golf as well.
Yeah, look,
And Christian's
We discussed this.
little
We
salami,
discussed this.
you know,
we have discussed it.
Bratwurst.
We just said
There
we're going
is-
to push it to the point where we're not breaking laws
Yes.
or we're
So I
jeopardizing
think-
your...
Can we say we'll finish the pod with an agreement on what
Yes.
that might be?
We can try and get to an agreement of sorts because I think yeah.
Well, I think it's unfortunately you don't really have a case. And I have the
Sorry, I shouldn't open this yet. I won't.
yeah, we'll have to figure something out because there's a lot of
yes, we will.
lot of
No.
logistics involved.
No, I don't think so. Minus pants, off you go.
We'll figure something out.
Yeah,
I've never sat in here. I've never sat in here and said flat out no, I won't do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can trust you anymore.
No, I back it.
Right?
it.
I've never sat in here and said no. And Daniel, be very careful because anyway,
I'll have to start my own podcast. I'm never
You
going
might.
back on here again.
you might.
Can you guys open your gifts, please?
Actually,
Yes.
Is it okay?
Is it... We just...
Are we going for it? Oh, hello. Nice.
Wait,
I figured.
please check the back.
I figured it's no. I wasn't that silly.
So it's a T-shirt and it's got the
Unreal.
the logo
I'm
for
so-
Augusta National.
Mate,
and it says
I am absolutely...
the Masters Tournament, Rory McIlroy 2025 champion.
And I was hoping, considering that we said pants off,
I'll wear
maybe
this.
you could wear that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, cool.
I'm-
You know what?
I'm-
For the effort that you've gone to, yes,
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I will say yes.
Maybe we don't have to do it at Berg. Maybe we can do somewhere more public. I don't know. I'm just asking the question.
Yarra Bend.
Like where? Yarra Bend.
Yeah, just the path beside Yarra Bend, the Yarra Trail.
Just do it. No,
Christian.
Fuck it. Just run that Albert Park Lake. Just do
Christian gets arrested for indecent exposure. What was he doing? He was running nude.
that. He was screaming 2025 Masters Roy McIlroy. It sounds like a fan. I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah, I've never, like I said, I've never come in here and said that I flat out won't do it. I will. We need to make it.
I don't know if you're the one making the. Maybe we.
I feel like, hang on.
so-
I feel like if I'm the one doing it,
Hold on, no. You called me out. You lost a bet, my friend.
we did discuss something on the phone. We did discuss something on the phone where we're like, we'll get you to do something. But we just there's still we need to protect things.
Yeah.
We can't break any laws. We can't jeopardize. You're
membership status.
You're not going to get suspended from the golf club or something like that.
Let's
but
not
there
do it
will
at
be.
Berg, but we can.
There will be like, Marcus loves it. We're thinking shirt, belt, undies, and shoes. Or
Yeah, I think that's funny.
I think
that's hilarious.
I think that's reasonable.
I think that's
I'm
hilarious.
good as with that.
I think that's
what we
reasonable.
I just want to stand there and throw tomatoes at you, but
I'm down for that actually.
You know what? Fuck, fair enough. And that's what I mean. Like,
stand over there.
and that's reasonable.
Yeah.
I'll cop it. I'll cop it.
Absolutely.
tomatoes.
You got to understand that in the grand scheme of things, right? There's a lot of regret
We've
about.
got a little bit more pull at Rosie though.
I'm sure you do.
Why don't we? I mean, Luke was part of the bet.
Yeah, that's
Luke,
true. He was there.
Luke would be the first one with the phone out.
Yeah, and
But that's the other. That's the
it's
other
then
side
when
of the thing,
it's
so
at that point that we start discussing how things are going to work. Because fair enough. We'll figure something out.
I appreciate it.
We will. And we'll probably have a discussion once we stop recording as to what it all involves and entails. But I'm well aware. And the amount of people in the last 15 hours that have said to me, you should do it at Royal Melbourne in front of Rory McIlroy.
I was just going to
Right?
say that.
And I'm just like, you can all get fucked. Like, no. My mum said it to me today. She's like, I've got a text message to prove it.
Dude, it was 15 minutes after Rory won that morning that Luke texted me.
Yeah,
he's on.
About it. He was onto it.
He's on.
And then I think you text me the next day.
I text you maybe a day or two
Came with
afterwards
receipts.
because
It's amazing.
I'd gone back and listened to it and found the timestamp.
Nah,
and when it
fair
was
enough. And
like,
that's perfectly okay. We'll figure something out. It'll happen in the next little
I'm
while.
very
I'm very impressed with the level of
I'm
detail
so
you've gone
impressed.
to.
I'm so
And
impressed that
just know that when you were mentioned in that episode, it wasn't a direct call out. It's because it was from where it was coming from. Like I'm the one who said it.
No, of course
right?
not.
It was never a malicious or vicious
No,
attack.
no,
it was
no,
just
no.
like,
Please-
I know Rimmy's the biggest
Please,
Rory McIlroy
please
fan.
understand, mate.
I know.
You
And I was just saying, I hate to disappoint you, my friend, but this is what I think is going to happen. It was a wild, in the grand scheme of things, wild comment.
But
But it's one that I find.
how good was it?
He was
second of this.
He
No.
was fantastic.
He was 10 shots
genuinely
better than
fantastic.
anybody,
Correct.
except for when his head got in the way.
Correct. And we've obviously spent a lot of time talking about the head and how that all works in the game of golf and stuff.
maybe a bit of
That's
fear.
That's
That
a
good
good bookend to the pod, isn't it? Because it's
It
like,
was-
I mean,
maybe a
that
bit
was,
of
that
fear.
was just a Rory, 1,000%, dude. Like,
Maybe just a bit of fear.
yeah, definitely. Bit of fear going.
Because he played phenomenally when he was like, when he had to be like create a gap.
Yeah.
And when he was coasting, that's when he started letting things go in.
Maybe a bit of complacency, but he also said it on Jimmy Fallon. Like
He did
the
too.
2 weeks later,
Yeah.
he goes. Like a couple of years before, even 2011, even in 2014, or a couple of times during the lead up to it, where he might either had the lead
was
or
it
tied for the lead.
22, I think him and Morikawa hold out from
Did,
that bunker
from
as
18.
well, and he was for like 7 under
he
or
was
something
sniffing
like that.
at it.
Yeah,
right.
and
But
then-
he even said, "What if I've just missed my opportunity?"
Yeah.
So he's playing this. He knew playing this year and winning that event. He was the best golfer on that
Yeah.
golf course by 10 shots, like you
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
But that fear of what if I fuck
You
it
can't
up?
have a better run into the Masters than that either.
No,
correct.
Wins Pebble,
Correct.
wins
Anyway,
players.
It's very
and then wins
fitting.
the Masters.
I'm
because-
extremely impressed by your work with that. That was phenomenal, and
was
I'm
great.
extremely impressed by your like acceptance of. No, I said what I said. So fuck is like you're honoring that, but we also we can't break laws. So,
No,
so-
correct. So we'll come into a happy medium of everything where it will get done and it'll get done fairly for everyone. Let's just say that.
I don't know
right?
about fairly fair, It's not
Right.
gonna be fair for you.
It's not going to be fair for me at all. I'm the one who's going to cop it, but I feel like if I'm
you gotta run by it, my friend. Like it's and on that too. Like mate, I know I cop it from all angles, but I'm quite happy to do that because I know I'm a Rory tragic, and it's so mate, no harm done, but all will be right. I think I'm about 90% there, but all will be right once
all will be level again.
once the Lannister pays his debts.
Dude, my
that's it.
cheeks hurt, dude. I haven't stopped smiling for 50 minutes.
it's very fitting that we bring it up because obviously this week is Quail Hollow at the
I was
time of
gonna
recording.
say.
At the time of listening, rather, it'll be very early stages of round one. And over the weekend, whatever, it's going to be a awesome event.
Yeah, hopefully the rain holds out.
Yeah,
looking
true.
like
I saw a video of
drenched
Hideki.
shitty-
I saw a video of
Did you see
Hideki putting
that?
through puddles.
What does that achieve?
You never know. You never know.
I don't know.
never know.
I
Sorry,
can't.
they call play at that point.
I
You
can't.
putt
You never
like
know.
that.
But it might be in the moments when they're about to blow the horn and he's still got a putt that's underwater.
Yeah.
You never. He might have to hit it. He can't just stand there and wait for the
I just thought
horn.
it was funny.
It's hilarious.
It's just like, what are you doing? Water skiing?
Rory's the firm favourite. Oh, Scotty's
I know,
actually
Scotty's-
shorter
Scotty's-
odds.
Scotty's
Those two
shorter
are
odds.
Shorter
tight.
odds.
Which is wild.
Those two are tight, aren't they?
I think Scotty was at 5 and Rory's at 550.
Okay.
At the
Yeah,
time of
I think it
recording,
was
which is
something like
Wednesday. You can't deny him. He's going to be the favourite. He's the people's favourite
Yeah, I mean-
going into it.
Bryson getting a lot of looks too.
Yeah.
Like,
Could be anyone, and that's the best part about the PGA and the
Xander's
US
starting to
Open
play
is
good.
that it literally
Yeah.
can be anyone.
yeah.
The Masters seems to have a tendency of players who have played well there
trend,
in the past.
the
There's
trend
a
leading
trend.
up to it, yeah.
You'd very rarely see a outside the top 50 player win
Yeah.
it. Whereas at the US and the PGA and the Open, you can.
Definitely.
So it's going to be good. We got to figure out what we're going to do about bonus episodes for recaps and stuff. You're obviously away in Perth for a little
No,
while.
we can do literally recap on Tuesday.
Okay, cool.
We can
We'll
literally
do
do
it then.
that.
Do
The
it
week
then.
after, it'll be as normal.
What's
and
the who's your tip?
It's hard to look past him, isn't it? It's hard to look past Rory.
Wait, you're gonna go full circle?
It's not full set. I've always been a fan of Rory McIlroy. It's
I'm not
just
saying
that-
you weren't a fan, but it's
right,
like
it's just that
you're very vehemently
I
flubbed.
also believe that now that he's won at Augusta, I think this is the floodgates opening.
1,000%, man. It's funny. He was in an interview talking about. He goes, "It just feels lighter."
It
Which
fe-
is
it
like,
does.
Imagine that, like, because like he's not going to have the public perception on him if he doesn't win it.
Yeah.
now. Like he's won the Masters, man. Like and he won.
he
it in
won
that
the
He's
one
won his
he
three
needed.
Grand Slam.
He won the
100%,
one he
dude.
needed
It's
the
like,
most.
you know what I mean? It's now it kind of feels like I wouldn't say a free ride, but close to.
It's almost as
Yeah.
if he's just won his first major.
yeah.
Yeah. Now he's like, let's go out and get
Let's go out and get the rest.
get the
Yeah.
rest. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
when
it's
I
hard
play-
to look
when I-
past him. It's hard to look past guys like Xander Schauffele. who
Xander's
are
playing good.
Coming into a bit of form
Xander's starting
after,
to play better again. I was
after the injury.
grinded on his swing last night. I was watching slow mo swings of Xander, swing driver. My God,
Yeah.
just so much like pent up energy, and he's gained so much
bang.
length lately.
He's phenomenal.
Producing mid 180 ball speeds with
And
a guy
not,
of his
not
size.
a big guy.
Not
either,
a big
like
guy at all.
Similar stature to Rory.
Yeah.
Like he's pretty jacked though.
Oh,
Yeah,
100%.
they're strong, man. They're strong.
But
See
then
you in the gym next week, Joel.
you look like you look at guys like
Needs it.
Bryson, Scotty. You can never deny Scotty. But the one that soft spot for, I want to see Brooks.
You love Brooks. Man.
Brooks is in the wilderness though.
Yeah, I know, but I just
you never
feel
know.
like-
He shows
I
up,
just
though.
feel- he shows up.
The master, sorry, the
You never
Masters, sorry,
know.
the majors just
He just does something,
He's
doesn't he?
another one. He's got that kind of tiger mentality.
He
where
just
he can
does
turn
something.
it on, and it's like you
Like
know,
saw
I've watched that many times. I think it was it 2018 where he won at Bethpage. Like even
19.
that,
yeah, I reckon
19
it was 19, was it? Yeah,
18 or 19.
Yeah.
Where he just shows up and he just goes, yeah, watch this. He just goes out, shoots an easy.
I saw a
65
video
in
of
the
him-
first round, and then
I saw a video of him being interviewed recently while he was hitting balls, and the dude either wears Nike polos that are 3 sizes too small,
he's
or
mad.
he's huge.
He's a big boy. He's a big boy.
He's a
jacked.
big boy, isn't he? Yeah.
big boy.
I saw him at that first year Live. I flew over there by myself and just like walked around and followed people and stuff. And Brooks was one that I really wanted to go see. This is early days, so there was no John Rahm, there was no like, yeah, like just following Brooks around. Like he was playing. He might have been playing with Cam Smith, maybe.
Yep.
And my God, you look at Cam Smith, like the weedy little dude and stuff, and it's just Brooks is just this absolute jack unit standing
Yes.
there.
Just this
and it's
mountain
like,
of a man.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like you know
He could step in the octagon tomorrow.
Oh man,
He's got that physique.
so
Yeah, he
big.
probably
got that
This was
physique.
This was
Probably
3
could.
years ago. Like, it's crazy.
Probably bigger still.
Should we go through questions from the second cut?
let's do it.
Let's do it. Right,
do it.
Daniel, I want to know what has been the biggest difference in your game in the last few months to get you down to the handicap you're at currently?
Biggest difference in my game.
Like the biggest, let's say the biggest improvement.
Okay, okay, that's a good way to phrase it. Biggest improvement for me has been short game.
Yep.
Working on that. Just understanding that middle of the green's fine.
Yep.
You know, when you're not in a and just really working on that. I've spent, you know, pretty much my entire golfing career working on like driver, irons,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of stuff, and just really putting a focus on the shorter game, and just basically spending a lot of time working on distance control.
Yeah.
So like wedges, distance control, and stuff like that, and hitting different clubs for the same distance. So
The
like
versatility.
trying to hit pitching wedge at 80 meters, at 100 meters, at 120 meters, at hitting gap at 100. If I need to juice it up and spin it, you can, and things like that, and just starting to understand that. And I think like that's starting to play some like capital G golf, like actually there's going out and hitting balls and trying to get them in the hole, but then there's like the art of golf and starting to understand.
Is that understanding that there's no one shot for every shot?
Oh, absolutely.
So it's
but like, and this is where like it just
It's like you're on the edge of the green, you don't have to pull wedge,
no 1,000%.
or you don't have to hit it high because it's a wedge.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
that sort of
absolutely.
thing.
Like little things like that. Like I play like a bump and run 6-iron all the time. It's like front foot, kind of just basically just like a putting motion, and it kind of jumps the first foot maybe, but then it as it checks, so it'll sort of check, but then it'll roll forward and it rolls true, and just like understanding these little things that like even in rough and stuff where like if you're trying to play wedge, there's a chance you can like flub it and leave it short. You're not sure if it's going to ride up the face, and or it might jump out of there, sort of thing. But you can kind of knowing that it's like, okay, I've got this shot that I can trust, and it's
So a lot of diversity in your
1,000%.
short game.
yeah, definitely, and just learning that kind of thing. I think
Yeah,
it's been
perfect.
been a massive one.
Jolly, have you got a question?
Yep. So I actually got to give credit to, I've seen a few things on TikTok and Instagram, this exact question.
Okay.
Okay.
This exact question. So sorry if I steal this from anyone. I don't know who to give credit to.
Right.
I'm not sure. But
Yep.
this is not me. I didn't come up with this.
all right.
So
Okay.
I'm just putting that out there for
That's right. You're the one saying it though. So.
Exactly. So either I give you 500 grand right now, or you have 2 shots at a green from 140 meters for 5 million.
What green?
Don't care.
Doesn't
2
matter. It's from
shots.
140
2
meters.
shots.
It's from 140. Let's say
500 grand doesn't even pay off my house or mortgage.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
2 shots.
it's if you take the 500 grand, you don't get a shot at the 5 mil. If you take the 2 shots and you miss the green both times, you walk away with nothing.
I ain't missing the green, especially with this new like swing thought that I've unlocked.
Yeah.
It's like, maybe let's
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
No.
Taking the 2 shots.
Might go
2
long,
shots.
but yeah.
When you put it into perspective like that, if there was a consequence at the end of missing the green, you think about it.
The consequence, you get nothing. That's a
fine.
consequence.
I came with nothing.
Yeah.
That's so true. That's, you know what? That's such a good analogy for playing golf.
Yeah.
Came
with
Came
nothing.
with nothing.
So what are you
Don't worry
trying? What are you
about it.
losing? What are
Exactly.
you losing?
So
Well,
yeah, no, I'll take the 2 shots. I
2
saw
shots.
that. I think it was Ron Chopper that
Yeah.
might have had
Because
that
I
question.
saw might have been a TikTok clip of maybe some other golf or sport podcast. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. And yeah, they spent half an hour discussing it.
Really?
Yeah. But the original question is 135 yards, which is sort of 122 meters sort of thing.
Pitching range.
So
It's a flick wedge.
I'd back myself every time. But yeah, so I juiced it up a little bit, and 140 meters, the actual percentage of someone hitting the green playing
Yeah,
off scratch,
trickier for sure.
off scratch,
For sure.
let alone like even playing off 6.
Yeah.
That's not a shabby figure at all.
No.
Yeah.
You'd expect yourself to hit the green, wouldn't you?
Definitely.
But you'd be surprised with the percentage. you don't.
Definitely.
Yeah,
but also,
100%.
I'll back myself. I hit the first one. I'll go, okay, cool. Now I can hit the second one.
Yeah,
If I
yeah,
don't-
yeah.
If I don't hit the first one, it's like, it's like hitting on the range. This is where it's tricky. It's like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
trying to play. Like I'm doing a lot of that, like in practice and stuff. Actually, that's, you know what? That's another shout. Is like something else that's changed heaps for me is like the way I practice.
Okay.
I've always hit a lot of balls.
Yeah.
And I still hit a lot of balls, but I'm doing a lot of different practice. So like now I'll try and change it up, or I'll put the randomizer on the sim and stuff, and like it'll make you hit different shots every time. It's a
That's
pain in the
perfect.
ass changing.
That's perfect.
Changing fucking clubs every time. Like
I've got something for you after
But-
we get off this.
yeah, but like doing that and just playing different shots and stuff like that has just been such a game changer, and understanding, probably hitting a few less balls, but like hitting them with more purpose.
Yeah,
It's
even
just
it
been
with some intent.
crazy.
Yeah.
I can vouch for that. In the last sort of 2 years or so, I've completely given up the range.
Yeah.
100,
Come to
like
the sim.
almost
Come to
100.
the sim, bro. Come to the sim, man. The sim's
with
the
with
best.
the
Even
amount
the
of balls
sim.
you hit, with the amount of balls you
I know
hit,
you
even the
say
sim.
that, but it's like
I would much rather, and yeah, my practice is a bit more niche. It fits me, and I've worked into it a little
Yeah.
bit more, and it's in the sweet spot at the moment. But the old school mentality of go to the range or to the sim, hit 150 balls, go home. Fucking
we used to do that. I remember it's
all
like,
the time.
yeah, but
And I
half
remember
it,
he used to
half
come
it-
down and be like, "Yeah, I don't want to hit." He's like, "I've got half a bucket left." He's like, "I don't." He's like, "I don't want to hit
You
it."
take them, and we'd froth because it'd be awesome. Now I'd much rather go to, even now that it's not daylight savings, I can still go to the club at 4:30 in the afternoon, walk out and play 4 holes, and then go spend 15, 20 minutes, half an hour chipping and putting, and then go home when it turns dark.
Yeah.
That is, and I could do that 3 times a week.
I can't make it there in winter.
Yeah.
That's why the sim. Like
Which we're
I
all
barely
gonna find
use the sim in summer. For 2 reasons. One, because I'm going to club, and 2, because the skylights in my factory. So it's like you can barely see the screen until like 9 p.m. at night, and Tess will go mad at me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And stuff. So, but
What's your question?
oh, I didn't actually come with one, to be honest. Like I was so prepped with,
Yeah, I was-
with all of this kind of stuff.
I think we can let you off
But,
the hook.
No.
Yeah.
So, I something that I was thinking about that we didn't get to touch on was best, can be recent or can be long term, but best equipment change you've made.
Okay.
That's a fucking great question.
The best for me
define
is
the best for you. You know, whether it's your favorite or what's been
the best, and I can feel Joel not necessarily staring daggers into the back of my head, but he knows. The best is a tie between driver and 3-wood,
TSR driver.
TSR driver and 3-wood,
yeah.
and PLD.
Are they still up for sale, or are they?
No, never were up for sale.
I think you have
Or maybe for a week or two.
otherwise.
Maybe for a week or two about a year ago. But no, they're still in the bag. They're still kicking it, and they're still performing. And PLD.
Yeah,
Putter.
really. Putter. Okay.
Was,
Yeah, that's huge.
most beneficial, if you want to call it that, the irons. I got new irons about 4 or 5 months ago.
Did we were chatting through that whole process. I remember when you went and got fit and stuff and that.
And just the, I didn't change much, just went a bit lighter in the shaft. I've explained it before, but just the ease of transition from one set of clubs to another was just so beneficial. It's like, it's new sticks, but it didn't feel like new sticks.
Yeah, for sure.
It was just, these work
Straight
now.
back
These
in.
work again now, so that's great.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I think for me, driver 3-wood and PLD.
Interesting. Jizza?
No idea, dude.
Because you've got 4,000 clubs. That's all I get. The random times that I go on Facebook, it's like, Joel Mitchell is selling a...
No, see, that's not even
They're
mine.
not even his.
That's not even mine.
Oh,
really.
whose is that? Is that your dad's stuff?
No, a lot of there's just members that want me to sell some things.
Oh,
for them.
really?
So yeah, I just help them out here and there.
You're a good guy, aren't you?
Great. He's dealing in the grey market of golf clubs.
Yeah.
I reckon it's putter for you. Your new putter at the moment, you seem to be falling back in love with.
Recently, that has done wonders.
'Cause you
That
haven't
has
really changed
done
otherwise.
wonders. Yeah.
Have you gone back to Old Faithful?
No,
No, that's
I've still got the new Scotty, the red one.
Yeah.
The
chrome one
yeah, the new Newport
with all the pretty bits on it.
with all the flashy gadgets on it
God damn.
with the insert.
God damn.
Oh,
So Joel doesn't have one. What have
that's
you
my
got?
recent one. That's my recent one. Is
the-
the
okay.
putter?
That's
Is the putter?
That's the question. It was the best.
Biggest? No, I don't know. I don't really have one. I've changed things out and put and included things in the bag or swapped things out or improved things to benefit in
For sure.
smaller,
It's probably more
in a
gradual for
smaller
you, I
sense.
suppose.
It's very small steps at a time.
Whereas Christian and I probably have more of like a, oh my God, light bulb.
Yeah, well, you've
Yeah.
gone from like something that isn't great to something very significant.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
you've gone from a very ordinary few drivers like rad speeds and shit like that to something that blows the market out of the water.
Yeah. I do
Right,
rad
and-
speed as well.
Well,
It's terrible.
but then you go for something like what putter did you have previously? You had the Scotty.
I had a
you
Scotty and then a
for-
Spider.
You had the
Yeah.
Scotty for 25 minutes.
Yeah,
But-
TaylorMade Spider.
The TaylorMade Spider, look, that's performing great on tour, but they could putt with a stick.
Yeah.
But going from something that's ordinary to
said it.
the best putter ever made.
So one of the members
it's
has
like
a
a significant jump. Whereas I went from something that's a fucking limited edition putter that I loved to something that's like it's different, sort of, but it's only a little change that does a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's it.
Anyway, for me,
one of the members has the same Spider I've gamed for a long time, and every now and again I'll just grab it off him on the putting green and go, give me that, let me have a hit. And I just look down at it, I'm like,
yeah, you
how did I do this for so long?
It's preference. It's preference.
And now
People
I said it, I could probably never go back to
people
a
can't look
mallet.
at people can't look at blades. There's
Yeah.
people that can't look at blades. They look down at a spider or a big spaceship and they go, "Yep, I love that." Like it's so.
I was like that, but I flipped.
That's
prefer-
me with
that's
the
preference.
mallets.
That's
Like
preference.
long putts with mallets, I'm fine. Get short putts, I just can't. I need like a flat back on it. I just feel like
That's it. What's your
for
biggest
me,
change or your best change? Because there's been a lot.
There has been a lot, but it's like probably like you. I mean, driver was when Duds fit me in that GT driver.
Duds, if you're listening, I want you in here. I want you in here.
That'd be awesome.
And then everyone needs to cancel out 3 weeks of their schedule because we'll make 9 parts.
Mate, well, I was like, that was, I'm going to, similar to you, I'm going to steal 2 parts, but like, so I had Joel's DI shafts in my driver, 3-wood.
I remember.
And I was hitting them and he's like, why have you got these? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I got them off Joel. They're pretty good, aren't they? And he's like, yeah, not for you.
Not for you.
Oh, okay. So I was spinning driver.
They were just better than what you had.
Yeah, I was driving. Well, to be honest, probably not. Like,
Really?
I had a hazardous stiff or maybe extra. No,
Yeah, you went 6.5. I remember
stiff.
because in
Was it
your
stiff?
TSR.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
you
must
had
have been 6.5.
6.5.
It was because
I got 6.5 as well.
So, so when I changed that, and then he's like, yeah,
You're just
for someone
overspinning the shit
maybe
out of it.
do it, with 100 mile an hour club at speed, sure. But no, I was spinning driver at like 5,000, which is silly. So, which are just, and reduce the spin, enhance the launch and stuff like that. Like, it was just crazy. That and 3-wood. And like, not only that, like, just narrow the dispersion down heaps as well, which is cool. But to be honest, lately, I was sort of briefly touched on it before, but I decided that I wanted to change all my shafts in my irons and wedges. So I thought, well, stuff getting them to do it. Like, and to be honest, the whole reason why I just wanted to do it myself because I wanted to do it in the same week and have them back rather than set them off and have them and wait for 2 weeks. So, so I went and did the full bag fitting at Titleist in at Spring Valley, and Alex Peterson there set. Basically, we went through everything, and I was like, to be honest, was going in there saying like, oh, maybe these are too stiff. I had X100s there, and I was like, maybe they're too stiff, and then ended up. He's like, he actually put me stiffer. So I went into Project X 6.5s.
Yeah.
Which had just been a game changer, like just way more stable. But the biggest thing that changed from that, so wedges, I'm in S400s as well, which has been really cool. And the little tour issue sticker on them, which is pretty sick. But the biggest change was he changed the lying. He's like, mate, you need to get your lying girls changed. Originally when I got fit, and like granted, there's a few things that changed. I've moved further away from the ball and stuff like that. And so from when I got fit, I was 2 degrees upright. I've always been a flat player, like slightly flat. They fit me originally into 2 degrees upright, and that's what the Y board was saying. It was just must have been the way I was swinging it that day. And so I ended up in. So I then prior to this, I'd got them bent back to standard, and then I ended up going 2 degrees flat in my irons, and I'm now 3 degrees flat in my wedges. Jeez. And
That sounds like heaps.
A lot.
But it just to look down on and how different it feels, and I don't feel like I have to manipulate something to try and hit it relatively straight.
Right.
Is just crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crazy. So that has been a real change, and just probably to add to that, just the understanding of it all, and like understanding how it affects, how it changes.
Why?
Yeah.
Good.
Really.
Love it.
Very good. Daniel,
good.
thank you very much for getting in.
My pleasure.
It's been a very long one again.
I'll come back
We're
if you
loving the
have
long
me,
ones.
but, that's
No, we'll get you back in, I'm sure, when there's a little bit less on the line. No, but we'll get to all that, and we'll do it again very, very soon. I'm sure, definitely a lot sooner than the gap between the first and the second.
So he doesn't prepare as much.
Absolutely. What are you doing next week? Ladies and gentlemen,
He's off, isn't he? We could just rant about him though.
if you want to replace him, you can. It's fine. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning into episode 66 of the pod. We really do appreciate it. Please head down and hit the like button, and please subscribe if you're listening on YouTube. We really do appreciate it. It means the world to us. If you're listening on Spotify, hit a follow, 5-star review, all that kind of stuff. Instagram, TikTok, all the clips are up there. Be sure to keep an eye on our socials. Joel's going to be putting up a little bit while he's over in Perth and Queensland after that, I'm sure. Bonus episodes to come for the majors, as always. But until then, Daniel, thank you again for coming in.
Absolute pleasure.
Jolie, it's always a pleasure. Here we go. And on that note, we will see you all next week. Hit them very well. Enjoy your golf. Cheers.
Godspeed.